Not
making them. It's
until
a
they make
different
Super
studio.
Mario Moneyball.
Nintendo will never authorize a Mario sports game with this much depth again.
Super Mario
Like another
Moneyball.
company
Not
will
even if
come
they
and be like,
allow
"Hey,
sports betting?
here's our idea for the next Mario baseball game," and they'll say, "Great, love it. Take 30 of these characters out. But if you do that, we'll only have 8 players, and you require 9 to play the game." Okay.
Yeah.
We'll call it. We'll play. The gimmick will be 8-player baseball.
Yeah, we'll have Lakitu is going to be the catcher no matter what.
Oh God, they would do something like that though. I hate
Disgusting.
that.
I know.
Disgusting.
Well, it'll be called shortstopless mode.
But if they let you pick different color Lakitu.
No. I take it back. There's no pitcher.
Is
It's
there a
baseball without the pitcher.
So T-ball.
Oh yeah.
Mario
Oh
T-ball.
my, it's backyard baseball.
Good God.
There's a
Backyard
great
baseball had the decency to fucking have a pitcher.
There's a great video I saw
Yes.
someone did where they did the Moneyball backyard baseball challenge, where they were like limited to only choosing like mediocre players and tried to win with that.
You should do that with Superstar Baseball.
No
I consider that. The
Nintendo.
problem is that unlike backyard baseball, there's not nearly enough characters that I could choose all bad ones.
You could choose as many
Backyard
bad ones as
baseball?
possible.
Wait, in backyard baseball or in Mario baseball?
In Mario, like there's not a,
I mean, like everyone, you can get mileage out of any player, but there are definitely 9 mid players.
You can get
Yeah,
as
but-
many bad ones as you can and make
That's
sure they
true,
all
but
hate each other.
The other thing is that the point of Moneyball is not that they got bad players. It's that they got okay players who are
Cheap players. Yes.
Yeah, Mario
Yeah.
mid.
Yeah.
characters who are good at one thing and one thing only, getting on base.
Let's play the mid-ball game. Let's get the mid-ball game now.
This is mid.
Yeah, I was trying to find the place to insert the mid and like just stop the song halfway through, but then I just didn't want to stop singing the song.
Just have the mid voice chorus come in.
And then in the sequel on the Wii, they sing, "Let's
Speaking of-
play baseball again."
Speaking of
Like we
mid,
did
let's
last
start the
summer.
yearlies.
Oh, good shit.
Yeah, nice.
That's
Hey.
that's really fucking mean, Graham.
Hey.
I can't believe we waited for you.
Why?
We didn't wait for him, really.
I mean, don't tell
You
him
waited
that.
for us. Hello and welcome to the Yearlies.
Bless you.
That's better.
The
That's better.
window.
You
I
don't
don't
get
know,
any
it's-
more.
I guess it's just not Scottish enough.
It is your ass.
When are we gonna rank all of Jordan's yearlies?
Yeah, let's make a Jordan grunts the
expedition.
yearlies
Yeah,
tier
are,
list.
are you suggesting a yearly lease?
The Yearlies.
Year low and welcome to the yearlies.
Level of self-indulgence is unseen by mankind.
Oh my God.
I promise all of you, when we get 100 subscribers, we'll do a yearlies, lease.
We'll never do a Yearlies
Yes,
lease.
that
It's
would be
never
no
gonna,
hell.
never gonna happen.
That involves more people finding us and not running away.
We get one subscriber a year. It's probably
Yeah.
an
A
awesome
year
We
gram.
got
What happens to the lore that was like there were like ants or something watching, and all of them together
Yeah,
made
That
one
was
follower?
fleas. It was
It was
fleas.
Fleas.
It was fleas.
The year fleas.
That's why we have so many. That's why they have so many names on the Patreon.
Right. Yes. It's all coming back to me.
All right. This is the 1992 Yearlies. Games from 1992. We
I
have
thought this was
honorable
93.
mentions.
Oh my god. Sorry.
Really? No.
I really thought this was 93.
All of
I
your
mean,
games
it's
are 90.
92, but like I went through all of today thinking, all right, we're doing the 93 yearlies. I'm sorry, keep going.
Okay, good. All right.
Can I
No,
just
no,
make sure?
that
You
comes
still
later.
thought like, oh yeah, it's the Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. That's a '93 game, right? Like you're not gonna be surprised by the games you put up, are you?
No, yeah, no. I know what games are on that. I
Okay,
have.
good. Okay,
Like,
just want to make sure that bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Like, I'm
We
just
all
waiting
have to
for
go
Yeah,
like
just the
find
ring.
Clanky, a bunch of new games.
God.
Yeah, it'd be more
That would
problematic
be-
because
I mean,
yes,
we
we're
already had to
still
replace
doing the
one.
we're still doing the fucking 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing it. All right. Going into honorable mentions, Clanky. Seeing as you now know it's 1992, do you want to go first?
I mean, yeah, I can get my honorable mention out of the way.
Yeah.
Well, my two are Mario Paint, which has somehow, as I learned today, made the bracket.
Fuck
And
yes.
Yes.
Fuck yes.
And the other one that I have is Super Mario Kart. I'm not going to tell you that Super Mario Kart's the worst Mario Kart because I think I hate another Mario. I think I hate another Mario Kart more.
I'll kill you.
But I will say that
Is it Super Circuit on GBA? That's the only one I'll accept.
Nope. Well, I'm sorry to say that when we talk about the Nintendo 64, I'll have some choice words. But
Ooh.
Look,
either way, we're not there yet. Let's talk about 1992. So, Super Mario Kart is on here not necessarily because the racing is any good, because it's really not. But the battle mode is really fun. I like Super Mario Kart's battle mode. It almost feels like the game was made for the battle mode instead of the racing. Which, fun fact, I'm pretty sure it actually was. And they just added the racing later, and that became the more popular thing. But anyway, that's all I have to say about Super Mario Kart.
Want to tell us about Krusty's Funhouse?
Oh, fuck,
Yeah.
Krusty's Funhouse.
If
Yeah,
we
I
must.
do. Yeah, because funnily enough, Krusty's Funhouse is a Lemmings clone.
I've never been so happy to learn something's not on the bracket.
Yeah. Basically, their mice have infested Krusty's Funhouse, and you
Wait.
have to. Yes.
Clanky,
yes.
it says Super Mario Land 2 Gold Coins came out in 93.
I guess we
No,
gotta
it
fill it up with
doesn't.
something.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
No!
Krusty's
Stop it.
Funhouse on the bracket.
no,
God.
that's not true.
I
So
believe
yeah, I
Graham.
guess we have to talk about Krusty's Funhouse.
I believe Graham with no evidence whatsoever. Every single thing he says.
Graham, can we not gaslight this early in? We'll get to the gaslighting portion of the evening. I have a whole gaslight routine planned.
Do you think
Oh,
I'm
boy.
gaslighting you?
We usually gaslight closer to 11:30.
You must be crazy.
You sound crazy. Everyone thinks you're so crazy.
What's gaslighting? You know what it is. No, what? No, what's gaslighting? Come on, you know.
Okay, no,
What-
it's a 92 game. Graham is gaslighting.
Yeah. I really hope so. But yeah, Krusty's Funhouse, it sucks. I don't know what else there is to say. I just, I've played so many Simpsons games that I feel like I need to talk about them. So this is my outlet to do that.
I gotta be real. Graham's gaslight hits so hard that I almost don't believe Wikipedia.
Well,
Gramapedia.
Gramapedia?
Well-
Did you say Gramapedia, G?
Yes, I did.
Gramapedia?
It's a Graham joke. I mean, he's there for it.
Yeah.
um,
Every Graham joke is one that I am present for. This is true.
Yes.
I'm
I
pissed
believe
for all
that.
of them.
I believe you could make a whole encyclopedia of Graham jokes without Graham being there.
well, Graham, you'll have plenty of time to make more jokes because I'm popcorning you.
And I redirected your popcorn to Christian.
Oh, how kind.
Do you
You
not
don't
have
have
any
any game.
honorable
He
mentions?
barely had an A game for this year.
Did Graham just refuse to popcorn?
Nah, don't worry. I'll popcorn back to
Maybe.
Graham when I'm done. We'll loop it back. We'll loop it back.
Oh wait, no. He actually had games this year. That's right. That was
I-
last year. Last year was the nightmare.
You motherfucker! I will never forgive you. So in terms of my honorable mentions, I have so Yoshi is a dinosaur that was introduced in Super Mario World, who can extend his tongue to swallow things and lay eggs, and in some games throw the eggs as well. Also, if you swallow certain colored shells with a Yoshi, you'll gain special powers as well. Yoshi's appeared in a couple of later Mario games, most notably Mario Galaxy 2, and has his own series as well. I'm a big fan of Yoshi.
Are you
Top
gonna talk
tier
about
left
Yoshi
outfield in
the
Super Mario Baseball.
Yeah,
Wait,
exactly.
Can you
Christian,
do
are you talk about Yoshi the game?
What? I didn't put Yoshi the game on here.
before that? Before you do that, can you please do your best Yoshi impression, but not like modern Yoshi? I'm talking like Super
God.
Nintendo Yoshi.
Okay, if modern Yoshi would have been impossible to do currently, but old Yoshi, that's
Pretty good, actually. It's actually
Yeah.
pretty good.
You
Hang on,
gotta like
Christian,
clear out the
you-
engine on this Yoshi.
if you're compromising Yoshi the character, then this is not. Then he came out in 1991.
I think you'll find that to be incorrect, Taylor. I think you're crazy, actually.
Yeah, no, I'm checking right here. It says Yoshi, released in 1992.
Yeah.
It checks out.
But he's not
Exactly.
talking about Yoshi the video game.
Taylor, I'm looking at the list of releases, and it says Yoshi came out in 1992.
The
so I don't know what
proof's
to
in
tell
the
you.
pudding. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Fucking
Proof's in the
hate
pudding.
this show.
Mario Paint's on the bracket. Space Megaforce. I actually don't know anything about this game. I was going to play it if it somehow got on. I think Vinny recommended this game.
That sounds like a Vinny recommendation.
It's apparently a shooter, and it's apparently pretty good. I did not get to play it, but hard recommendation from Vinny. So yeah. Contra 3 is on the bracket, Kirby Dream Land's on the bracket, Mortal Kombat is on the bracket, and finally, I picked a 2011 game because I thought it would be sequentially fitting. I didn't get to talk about Dead Space 2 as much as I wanted to. I don't even think I had it as an honorable mention in 2011. But Dead Space 2 is really good. Like, it's actually, like, close to, like, a Resident Evil over-the-shoulder style kind of horror game, but in a sci-fi setting. It's neat. I like it a lot. All right, Graham, your turn again.
Yeah, this was the bracket where you guys started breaking rules.
No, we've been doing that since the yearly started.
Rules were meant to be broken, Jordan.
Oh,
What rule
No,
did we
they weren't,
break?
Graham. That's not.
We
That's
started the yearlies.
not
the
true.
number one rule of the yearlies was don't do the yearlies.
All right, Graham, your turn.
fair.
All right. All my honorable mentions are games that I have not played, but I have like either respect for, or I just want to just mention them.
Graham, I need to ask a very important question. Have you played every game that's actually on the bracket?
I have played every game that's on.
Okay. Okay.
Some
That's
more than
good
others.
news.
Some more than others.
But he sadly did not get to Adam's Family on NES.
Damn.
Yeah, no. Really, Wolfenstein 3D is on the bracket, so I'll just like Star Trek 25th Anniversary was just a nice, fun like adventure game. Like, obviously, like the 25th Anniversary of Star Trek. I believe it was like point and click, and it had like original like story, like little episodes you could go through. Adam's Family. I just put on all mentions so we could do the ba-da-da, ba-da-da.
Discord is selectively choosing
Worth
which
it.
snaps go through.
Yeah. And Graham, I need to ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hudson Hawk, like the movie?
Yeah, I put on Hudson Hawk because I know
What?
Jordan. The only reason I put Hudson Hawk on is because I know Jordan likes Hudson Hawk.
But that's a game too, right? It's a game too,
It's a
right?
game too.
Okay,
It is
good.
a game of
Okay.
Hudson Hawk.
Of
I-
the movie, which is
Of
wild.
the movie.
I didn't just put a
Bunch
picture
of
from
that's
the
my
people
next
movie.
game.
believing that it was a
Movie.
game and it wouldn't be a game.
Imagine if I put a fucking picture from the movie on this banner without realizing it. That would be the ultimate con.
Because I was gonna say number one,
Yeah.
Graham. I was gonna say Graham. Number one, that's a movie, and number two, that's a 1991 movie. So I'd have you on two
The
accounts.
game came out in '92.
Do you guys
Yeah. remember
back in the Screw Attack days, they did
No.
top 10 lists and they did a top 10 PS3 games like a
No.
year after the PS3 came out. But the
Number
PS3 had no games then. So number 10 was like entry missing, number 9 entry missing, number 8 entry missing, and then number 7 was like Superman the movie.
Man, how history repeats itself. Graham, repeat
Okay,
yourself.
All right, Taylor, if you're so eager, I'll popcorn to you, Taylor.
I just
But
want
joins
to.
the parade is the only thing you have to talk about.
Well, I should take the time to explain. A moment ago, Clanky was like, I don't know how Mario Paint got on the bracket, so let me just explain. Mega Man 4 somehow ended up on this bracket because I didn't handle compromises and didn't get an opportunity to take Mega Man 4 out of the rotation.
Somehow.
Someone was a little still pissed off about Lemmings doing so well last time.
Oh,
but
trust
they-
me, I'm over Lemmings. I'm over Lemmings.
I'm
Turns out I'm
not.
still mad about. Turns out I'm still mad about Nicktoons Racing though. So
Yeah, he's
that was
mad about even older stuff.
that was a fun thing to learn.
In any case, we talked about Mega Man 3 recently, and I had very little to say then. So, like, what the fuck am I going to say about one of the worst Mega Man games?
Woof.
I was
I mean,
about-
and by one of the worst, I mean just one of the most unspectacular. Like, Mega Man 4 is the finest game ever. Like,
It's like
It's got-
generic Mega Man.
It's like generic Mega Man. It has like no interesting like, oh, this is the Mega Man that did this. Like you have a charge attack in this one, and that's like useful for taking out enemies. And like this is the first time they're like, oh, Wily's not the main villain, but actually, and like other than that, Toadman's in it.
Holy shit! I hear he's good in Mario Superstar Baseball.
And that would have been the entirety of my Mega Man 4 pitch. So I was like, hey guys, I will give up one of my entries so you can put the stupid paint game on.
Yes.
So don't say I never gig
Watch
or nothing.
this game sweep now.
If it does, the murders will begin.
And then
It's okay,
in any
I'm ready
case, the one thing I recognized about that I am excited about the 90s is 90s was the era of humongous entertainment. So we're going to get to talk about some humongous entertainment games when we get further along. Putt-Putt Joins the Parade will not be one of them. But it is the first Putt-Putt game, and I did play it a lot as a kid. It's just, it came from an era where humongous entertainment didn't know how to like really randomize the games yet. A lot of humongous entertainment games, the experience is a little different each time you play. There's a couple of different solutions to each puzzle. Putt-Putt Joins the Parade is the same every time. Get a car wash, find a pet, and mow lawns for money. And if you get a paint job, you can skip the car wash for some reason. And you know, it's neat. But like there are better Putt-Putt games.
There's a different Putt-Putt game that has my heart. I hope one puts it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hope that we get to Putt-Putt. We'll get to some humongous entertainment, I'm sure, but not today.
I just looked up
You're
my.
saying Among Us Entertainment.
No,
Yeah,
humongous
well, that's
entertainment.
the future. You're talking 20 years into the future.
Incidentally, fun fact: there was a massive lawsuit behind Putt-Putt Joins the Parade, which I know is funny to say.
That's very interesting.
I just looked it up, and my one humongous entertainment game might be on the bracket in some capacity in the future.
Let's go. We all get one. Except Taylor, you can put on a bunch.
We'll
I
see.
can put on a bunch. We can all put on a bunch. There's no rules.
This is true.
Yeah.
The humongous entertainment leads. Well, I mean, I
The
said it like a joke, but
humonglies.
like the hugelies.
The huge leads.
Wait.
And then I just also want to just take the time to just acknowledge that this year Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time came out, which I'm not a TMNT fan, but I think that it's a really good, people really seem to love that game, and I would have enjoyed talking about it if we needed to fill something. And then I just also wanted to acknowledge Mick Kids, which is like that Super Mario Brothers 3 clone on NES, which I think is the weirdest McDonald's NES game ever that's actually apparently good. And
Interesting.
that's just, I just find that fascinating. That's all. I was going to popcorn someone, and then I realized I ended up going last again. So
No, I haven't gone.
Oh.
Mick.
No, Mick, you went.
No, I didn't.
Mick, you went. What are you talking about? You sound ridiculous.
Yeah, you're kind of crazy right now, Mick.
Stop.
Yeah.
Okay, if gaslighting is going to be our running gag, can we not have it be that?
Don't play this game. I will win.
I'm okay with being the running gag as long as it's not the running gag. All right, Mick, go ahead.
Thank you, whoever played the Weezer riff. I wish I had that one.
Weezer?
I've been transported to the fly of despair.
All right, Mick, go ahead.
Ooh-wee. Okay.
If we were a sitcom, that would be like what plays us out. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't have any honorable mentions. No.
Mick, you do have honorable mentions. You do. You're crazy.
All right. Yeah. No.
Himself.
So, yeah. I have Ultima Underworld Stygian Abyss. Not going to say anything about it because I'm going to be talking about its sequel in the upcoming year. So I'm going to save all of that for that pitch. And then the other game I'd like to talk about is King's Quest VI, Air Today, Gone Tomorrow. A game I have not played.
Yeah, but it should have been on the bracket anyways.
No, it shouldn't have. It shouldn't have. I trust me. I know what games should be on. I know what games I should be putting on my bracket. All right. You put Mario Paint on here. All right.
I didn't listen. I allowed Mario Paint on here. There's a big difference.
That's true. That's true. It was within your passive will that Mario Paint got on. Whereas on it was
favor.
Yeah, that's fair. I will give you that. That said, yeah. But you know, King Quest 6, fun game. But it's not quite top 3 worthy. At least not compared to some of the things I have on.
while I was making the banner for this, I thought Gone Tomorrow was a different game. So I looked up Gone Tomorrow 1992 game and nothing showed up, and I was like,
yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah, no. King's Quest VI aired today, Gone Tomorrow. It is where you play as King Graham's son.
King Graham?
Yeah. I knew I have, while I have not played it, I watched the Danny and Ross of Game Grumps Steam Train play through it. It's probably my favorite thing they've ever done.
It's a good playthrough.
Yeah.
Look out, Graham! A poisonous snake!
No, that's 5.
Oh.
Yeah. This one ends amazingly with the most 90s pop song ending ever.
Girl in the Tower.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Girl in the Tower.
Yeah.
To quote Danny, this is some Peebo Bryson shit.
Yeah. I just want to say that
God.
I respect the hell out of King's Quest VI's puzzles and atmosphere. They go for a very like fairy tale aesthetic with like all the puzzles and solutions. My only thing is that the games of that era, Sierra specifically, love to kill you in your point and click game and have you reload a save. And I just don't think that's good point and click. I just don't think that's a good foundation.
Oh, this is going to be a fun one, isn't it? It's going to be a fun bracket.
More like a point and date.
I'm going to love this bracket. I'm already overjoyed. Come on, let's get into it. I'm so excited.
Okay, round 1 of the 1992 Yearlies. We have Wolfenstein 3D, which Mick put up, versus Dragon Quest IV, which is a Taylor pick. Who would like to go first?
Can I?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm quite excited for this Yearlies because this Yearlies, every single game I have is like a revolutionary, like first of its genre game. Even if it's not necessarily truly the first of its genre, it is like the archetypal example that that almost all other games in this genre can trace their lineage back to. And that is certainly the case with Wolfenstein 3D, largely regarded as the first first-person shooter. And technically there have been games that were first-person shooters before that, but they were like largely controlling a tank and stuff like that, but never a single person from a first-person perspective in a 3D environment. The game is if you've never seen it before, it's on a 3D plane, but almost all the actual sprites are 2D except for the walls, and you run around shooting enemies. The premise of the game is that you play as an American spy of Jewish or Polish descent named B.J. Blazkowicz.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
No, you heard him. That's correct.
That's so good.
Who in the first level he escapes from a Nazi German prison called Castle Wolfenstein, and then has to then in the next level, then in the next section of the game, has to stop Operation Ice and Faust, which is their attempt to raise an army of undead mutants. And then finally in the last level, he infiltrates Der Führer bunker and fights Adolf Hitler in a robot mech suit with machine guns.
Also, I just want to point out, I am playing Wolfenstein 3D right now.
Yeah.
In a browser.
Oh.
Yeah. I first played Wolfenstein 3D, and I got it on the Xbox Live Arcade, and you know what? That's the thing. It was 2000. It was like 2009. There were better first-person shooters, obviously, but there was something very relaxing about it. It was a very the sort of the simplicity of it. It was very fun to go back and play. It controls well. It controls smoothly. The guns all feel and handle well. There's a decent amount of enemy variety between Nazis with different weapons and dogs and then zombies and then Robot Hitler.
Mick.
Yeah.
At least match me on this point because I've played Wolfenstein 3D.
Okay.
I've also played Doom, which came out a year later.
Yeah.
You have to admit, the level design in Wolfenstein 3D is not good. It is exhausting. It is the same blue hallway. All the corridors look the same. They are just giant mazes. You don't have the same elevation that something like Doom has, so it just gets... I got through how Wolfenstein is broken into episodes. Each episode has like 8 stages. I played the first episode, and that's as far as I could get because it's just. You're right. From a control perspective, this game really does not do anything wrong, but actually playing it can be really tiresome.
Ladies and gentlemen, everything Taylor said is wrong. I don't know what to say.
Damn.
I genuinely disagree. I think that's the thing. Comparing it to Doom is like, okay, it's worse than a later game. You know, it's not as good as a later game.
Well, no, I mean, I get that. I get that, like, this is the first of its kind, but, like, playing it now, playing it today, like, I played other Wolfenstein games. Like, I played The New Order, and The New Order's like, hey, do you want to go back?
That's a 2012 game!
Can I finish my sentence? But they fucking have Wolfenstein 3D levels as bonuses. So I went in and played Wolfenstein 3D maps in addition to that too, and it's just,
Well, listen to me. Okay, here's the thing. I hadn't played Doom at the time I played Wolfenstein 3D, so I had nothing to compare it to. And I loved Wolfenstein 3D. I used to boot it up all the time. In between playing Wolfenstein 2000, the Wolfenstein reboot in 2009, I'd be like, yeah, let me throw some Wolfenstein 3D. And I kept doing that for years when I had my Xbox 360. I'd be like, yeah, you know, I'm in the mood for some Wolfenstein 3D. Let's go some Wolfenstein 3D. Let's kill Robot Hitler. Hooray!
he's getting worked up already, and I'm scared.
Round 1.
Robo Hitler, hooray!
Round 1, game 1. Taylor does not like the blue hallways. You know what, Taylor? I think you're wrong.
I do know the blue hallways.
Only one of the parts has blue hallways. The others have gray hallways. You know,
this game is very blue. Why are
it is very blue. I'll give it that.
Why are you blue?
Why are you blue?
What's wrong with you?
I just don't think it's aged the best, personally.
None of these games have aged the best.
You know,
he's got a point there.
If we're talking Dragon Quest IV on NES, I might agree with you.
And it's funny you mentioned that.
Listen,
we are talking about it.
Are we? Do we have to?
We can just let Wolfenstein 3D win.
No, I mean, look, I already think it's gonna win because I'm talking about an RPG and you're Mick. But
I'm only one guy.
I mean, I'm kind of playing.
No matter how many puppets I have, I'm still just one guy.
I think much like how when we talk about Final Fantasy, we're talking about the best versions of that. I'm talking about the best version of Dragon Quest IV, which is Chapters of the Chosen on DS, which I think is a good entry point to the Dragon Quest franchise. The whole gimmick of Dragon Quest IV is that you're going to play multiple chapters from multiple different character perspectives. So like in Chapter 1, you play as Ragnar, and then in Chapter 2, you play as Elena, and then in 3, you play as this businessman who can barely do anything named Tornico.
You can't just drop the name Ragnar on us and talk about
I had that
You
in high
play-
school for a week.
You play
like-
one chapter as Ragnar the Red.
Thor Ragnar.
And like you get like a heel slime who joins you.
Wolfman's got Ragnards.
And like his name is Healy or whatever. The funniest thing about Dragon Quest games before voice acting was introduced is they tried really, really hard to, through the text, give really inflated accents to make the cast feel diverse. So you have a French person and they're like, bonjour, vous, like they like extend the E's, like, are you, go, it's like, and like for Scottish accents, like they're trying to write the pronunciation of the accents in the dialogue, and it's so stupid that it becomes hilarious. Like, it's.
You want to know what's really hilarious? Robot Hitler.
You know what's even funnier? Blue hallways.
There's a diverse cast. You know, the cast is diverse as a result. Dragon Quest IV has a lot of the Dragon Quest traditions that I like. Like, you can collect mini medals and deliver them to King Mini Medal, who will give you things for the mini medals. You get to find the key to open jail cells. You get to gamble. I know we like gambling.
I do like gambling.
Yeah, you get to go to a casino and you can do slots. You can play blackjack, poker. I don't think this one has the slime arena, but
get slimed.
Well, there are slimes because these are Akira Toriyama rest in peace monster designs.
I love the
God,
slimes.
I can't believe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's so many different kinds of slimes. There's slime. There's she slime. There's king slime. There's metal slime. There's liquid ooze slime. Liquid metal slime.
You can slime a family.
Yeah. Oh, no. That's the thing. It's called the slime family because there are different families of enemies. They each have their own like tiers. And like Dragon Quest enemies, they're iconic like Pokemon are iconic. Like you got the platypuses and the jail cats. It's all great. It's like this is just a good traditional turn-based Dragon Quest RPG, and I think it's a good way to dip your toe in the Dragon Quest universe.
Can I ask you a question about Dragon Quest?
Yeah.
Is it the best Dragon Quest game?
No, it's kind of just okay.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sit here and say that this is like the end-all be-all. If you don't like this Dragon Quest game, you won't like the franchise. I actually think that that the next one is one of the best ones. If I'm being entirely honest, see the thing about Dragon Quest, I'm not gonna lie to you. Dragon Quest stories are the most by-the-number stories I've ever seen in any RPG. They are like the epitome of you are the chosen hero, go defeat the bad guy.
I remember you saying that when Scott the Waz said he really liked Dragon Quest despite not being an RPG guy. And you're like, how does he like the most like milquetoast like storylines in an RPG?
This Quest 64.
Well, to be fair, the one he played has a little more going for it.
All right, fair enough.
I'm not going to say the story there is much better, but the characters are a lot more charming. That's the thing. Dragon Quest stories aren't amazing, but there's a lot of charm in its enemy design through the towns. There's this constant running gag where you get a poof poof, which is like the term for motorboating a pair of tits. And
are we talking about the same? Is this still Dragon Quest?
Well, that's the thing. Is like they treat it like, oh, hey, do you want to get a poof poof? And then they like do something different, like they'll have you close your eyes and put 2 pairs of slimes to your head and be like, have you ever felt a pair as soft as mine?
Holy shit, dude!
And like that's
normal things.
That's like a tradition of the Dragon Quest franchise. It's just, oh, I'm gonna get some motorboat tits. Oh no, just kidding.
I've been weirded out sufficiently.
This is not off kilter for NES innuendos, I must imagine, though.
I mean, I think that's more a thing of the franchise. They definitely have at least one poof poof joke here, I'm sure. I mean, I think Dragon Quest promises at least one poof poof joke per entry, but it's the price of admission.
I need one per entry. Pass the poof poof.
Listen, I'm trying. I need this pitch to hold up against Wolfenstein 3D because otherwise it felt like I was just bullying it for the sake of bullying it.
Whenever it's my turn, whenever it's my turn on the bong, I'm gonna say it's my turn for poof poof. Let's go.
It's my turn for poof poof.
All right, let's vote.
Oh, I just inhaled 2 slides.
Yeah, we might as well.
Who put these in the bong?
The voting order this week, we're gonna start with Clanky, and we're gonna do Clanky, Graham, Taylor, Christian, Mick. So.
Okay. I'm interested in playing Dragon Quest a lot, actually. It's been a franchise that, like, it's milquetoast RPG, but, like, it looks fun. It looks like a good time. But if Dragon Quest 4 is not one of the best ones, then I'm going to vote for...
It's like... When I say it's not... That's not to say it's bad. It's just, like, it's an entry
3D.
point, It's like you go in here, it's like, this is what the Dragon Quest experience is.
And yeah, that's my vote.
Graham.
What? What?
It's your vote.
Oh, you started laughing at my name, so it made me think I did something.
Graham, tell a joke for us.
No.
Okay, here's a joke. Christian.
How could you?
Hope.
I'm voting for Wolfenstein 3D.
Okay. Taylor.
I'm going to just appeal to Clanky a little bit more. So the thing is, Clanky, we talk about this being a milquetoast RPG, and the thing about Dragon Quest is it plays it very traditional, but it takes each of those elements and like kind of is like the perfect package of those elements. So it's like it does what it does, but it does it the best. Japan shuts down for Dragon Quest. Like when a new Dragon Quest game, the Japanese businesses just all shut down because they're like, we got to play the new Dragon Quest.
Wow.
Wolfenstein 3D was released episodically. You could get the first one for free, even back in 1992.
Dragon Quest IV's chapters are episodic, so you can play it all without having to wait week to week. I vote for Dragon Quest IV.
I figured you would, Christian.
On one hand, the hallways in Wolfenstein 3D are blue.
You're on this, aren't you?
On the other hand, the slimes in Dragon Quest are blue. So it's a bit of a toss-up.
The HUD in Wolfenstein 3D is blue.
Oh shit! You know what, Mick? You got
Dragon
me.
Quest IV is blue.
Taylor's coming back with the backup. Mick, do you have another blue rebuttal for me?
Almost all the doors are blue.
All right, Taylor, do you have anything to follow up there? I'll give you 3 seconds.
Yes,
Time's up. I'm voting for Wolfenstein.
Fuck you!
I was gonna vote for it anyway.
I know.
And
I respect your
Mick.
choice, but disagree with it.
I'm voting for Wolfenstein 3D.
I'm voting for Dragon. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are better Wolfenstein
Okay.
games too. That's the point I was trying to make.
Should have changed that color too.
Right.
Oh, well.
There are better
wounded
Wolfenstein games, but they're almost different games.
Yeah, but they're better games.
Moving on now. Round 2. It is The Simpsons, Bartman versus Radioactive Man. I probably should look up to see who put this up. I'm just gonna guess Clanky did.
Nah, I did.
Good guess.
Versus Kirby's Dream Land. I probably should look to see who put up this one as well, but I'm just gonna guess Chris. Wait, Taylor put it up?
I know,
What
right?
fresh insanity is this?
I also am
Crazy.
upset that it was me and not Christian because I don't believe that Christian would not have put this in his top 3.
We'll get to it in a second.
Yeah.
Oh no, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves, batten down the hatches. It's a Christian hot take round.
No, I don't think so. But let's just get
Oh,
into it.
no.
I don't think anything I'm gonna say
All right,
tonight
let's
is
go
hot.
first.
Lukewarm at best. Well, Taylor, you put it on. What do you think? Do you want to go or do you want me to go?
I mean, I don't have a ton, if I'm being entirely honest. I mean, look, Sakurai made this game as a way to introduce people to video games. And gosh darn it, from that perspective, this game is great for that purpose. Because you pick it up, and 30 minutes later, it's over.
Yup.
Exactly.
And, you know what? Those 30 minutes are pretty nice.
Sure.
All 4 of the levels are good. It's good. It's pretty good.
Kirby's Dream Land is a game that has a mission, goes out to complete its mission, and then completes it and goes a little bit further beyond, and then that's it. It is, like you said, it's literally a 30-minute long game. You can play through it twice because there's an extra mode where you get to fight all the harder enemies and way harder boss fights, and that is kind of where the game begins for people who have played video games before. But in terms of introductory video games, there are way better ones nowadays, but if you were in 1992, literally right now, and you saw a 1992 person who had never played a video game, this would be a pretty good pick.
Sakurai gave Kirby the float because he's like, I don't want players to fall into pits.
Exactly. Kirby does not have copy abilities in this game, so the entire game is based around sucking things in and shooting them out, which actually works really well.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think that's a great mechanic that this game has. Sorry,
I like that. I like the idea of giving him a limited kit like that. Yeah.
Oh, you don't apologize for chiming in. We want to hear your thoughts.
It sounds like if we don't chime in, there won't be a lot else.
Yeah, no, interrupt me for God's sake.
Yeah, actually, that's it. That's all I have. That's Kirby's Dream Land.
Yeah, I mean,
Clanky, go, yeah.
Sorry, real quick. I think that it's fun that like the boss fights are designed with that in mind, where like they do certain attacks that leave stars, and like you use those stars to then attack them. It feels more like how you're supposed to do Kirby boss fights. Every Kirby boss fight, in my opinion, is just spam the ability that you have until it dies. And I feel like this game really makes you think more about like the boss patterns and shit. I'm not saying that other Kirby games don't do that, like, most of them do, but like I feel like there's a certain uniqueness to this Kirby game's boss fights, and I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, it's over like in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I mean, they literally turned this game into a mini game in Superstar.
Yeah, if any of you have seen or played the entirety of Spring Breeze from Kirby Superstar or Superstar Ultra, then you have played this game. Also,
Can I say, to be fair, I think almost every single game on this bracket is a mini game in another game at this point.
If you played Superstar Ultra and you played the Revenge of the King game, you played this game's extra mode too.
I love that Animal Crossing put the town with no name in as one of its games.
I know, it's crazy, but we'll get to that, I guess. I guess one more thing I'll say. Oh, and a couple other things. The soundtrack to this game. A lot of things about this game are overshadowed by other Kirby games. This soundtrack is fucking amazing. It might be the best soundtrack on this bracket, in my opinion at least. It is iconic, and like you can't really use another word better than that to describe it. And I guess I should just explain why it's not on my entries, because it absolutely would have been. See also next year.
Oh, okay.
Don't you like hate all the Dreamland games though?
Next year's not a Dreamland game.
Okay.
It's Kirby's Adventure.
It is Kirby's Adventure.
Have we talked about Nightmare in Dreamland yet?
It was an honorable mention, I think.
Okay, then it's okay.
So if we're done with Kirby, shall I talk about The Simpsons Bartman meets Radioactive Man?
Oh, please do.
I'm sure it's a great game.
You shall.
So, as you guys know, I've been playing through a bunch of the Simpsons games, and one of the last platformers to get and one of the last platformers to get released on the NES was The Simpsons Bartman meets Radioactive Man, and I really, really admire this game for being playable.
Hell
Let's
yes.
go, everyone! They made it
Oh, dude,
playable.
1992 entries. It's playable.
It's just the thing with this game is that, like, I'm just very, very happy that it is a platformer that I can play, that I don't get too frustrated with its age, because it's just as simple as go from left to right. Because as we need to be reminded, not every Simpsons platformer was like that. So it's very nice to just have a functional game. And that's all I have to say about The Simpsons Bartman meets Radioactive.
Which one do you pick? The one that's over before you finish your slice of pizza, or the one that's playable?
The one that's functional.
Which way, Western man?
Also, I'm looking at this image, and I guess this is supposed to be like Bart in the shadows, but I don't feel like this image looks as good as they were.
Oh my god.
I
Hey,
don't
listen.
think,
Okay, look. Me and Clanky have been watching
Candlelight.
through early Simpsons episodes. This happens all the time.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, yes, Smithers was black for a couple episodes.
No,
It's
it's
true.
just one scene.
Yeah, I was being modest, but yes.
but
No,
yeah,
no,
like,
you were being
I'm
the
not
opposite
gonna
about
make
us.
you
You were
joke.
exaggerating.
I was, yes.
it's just so strange that they would decide to make a Simpsons game on the comic that by this point in the series really hasn't shown up too much in the show itself. You know, it's just I feel like it's just a very strange decision to build a game around this. And
Yeah,
like,
what season were they at? Because I think I only remember one episode with Radioactive
well,
Man.
based on what
That's
Clanky
what I'm
told me
saying.
last year, this would have been season 3, right?
this would have been this is 92,
Yeah.
so this would have
But
been
you were on
around
season
season
5,
3.
right? And I don't think Radioactive Man has shown up a second time.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I think we're on season 4, but yeah, either way,
Oh, yeah.
that
Maybe
makes
they
it like
had Radioactive Man because they're making a video game.
That's crazy. There's just no way. There's no way they were doing that
All
in
for
1992.
Yeah.
Game.
They could barely keep the plot consistent in one episode. Like, I don't think they were planning that far ahead. Well, does anyone have any questions
nothing.
about The Simpsons? Bartman meets Radioactive Man.
How much better is this than Bart versus the Space Mutants?
I can't even describe to you how much I would rather play. I'd rather play The Simpsons Bartman meets Radioactive Man 500 times than play Bart versus the Space Mutants once.
Just checking, just making sure.
All right. Well,
Anything else about the game
Does it-
before we
I'm taking any and all questions. I've beaten this game. I know everything about it.
I tell you what, Clanky, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll think up some questions for when we talk about it next.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
you're only gonna
Does
have
Side-
one. You're only gonna have one more chance, so I hope you think of them quickly.
Does Sideshow Bob show up?
Sideshow Bob is not in this game. I
Damn
don't
it.
even. You know what's crazy? I don't even think this game has Homer.
Well, it's called, I mean,
It is
it's called-
Bartman.
Yeah,
They
it's
couldn't
Bartman.
afford him.
It's a Bartman game.
Yeah.
He
Is,
gets sucked into the comic.
is Homer
So-
in Krusty's Funhouse?
Yes, he is, because he's one of the
Oh.
people that like holds one of the traps, one of the death traps for the rats.
I see.
But yeah.
So
The
so
Sideshow Bob
far-
can't be on it. He's still in prison at the time. The Democrats haven't been back in the White House yet.
Niles.
Oh, they wouldn't call that up at all. Anyway, shall we get to the vote?
Yes.
Okay. We start with you, Clanky.
Guys, please don't vote for The Simpsons Bartman meets Radioactive Man. I'm voting for Dreamlands.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays
It
out.
pays out for you.
Let's see if it pays off. All right, Graham.
I'm gonna vote for Bartman.
Oh my goodness. Oh man.
Well, Clanky, I don't think that worked. Taylor.
I tell you, Clanky, Bartman may be functional, but Kirby's Dream Land is functional and fun.
Okay.
Actually, that's a good question. Is Bartman fun?
What do you think? It is a platformer. That's the only way I can describe it.
Well, you know what? Gargoyle's Quest was also a platform.
I love this. It's like Clanky's alcohol review. Yep, that is alcoholic, and it's not poisonous.
Did you lose a bet? Is that why it's on the bracket?
No, it's on the bracket because I had 2 games from 1992, and again, I played so many Simpsons games. I need to put this knowledge somewhere.
So you put it with the place with the historically least amount of votes on the internet?
Yeah.
Views?
It's at least somewhere.
Oh yeah, like he's where else is he gonna get this?
This will be played in museums.
Yes.
No, it won't. Well, one of my
Museum of
pitches
the
will.
Moving
Yours
Image
won't.
next July.
I'm pleased to announce we are opening up the Mueslies.
Incredible.
Rate your muses. I'm voting putting Oriana in third.
Christian, it's your vote.
Yes. The thing I like about the Sakurai Kirby games, even though I'm a big fan of the Shinichi Shimomura and the modern HAL Kirby games, Sakurai Kirby games really have their own, you can tell that Sakurai was really hell-bent on his own personal vision. Which you can see in Smash Brothers because Sakurai, it's trying to have him include Kirby characters that are not from his games is like pulling teeth. It's actually hilarious how he only picks characters from the games he makes.
I love the way you're describing Sakurai designing early Kirby games as if it's like Hideo Kojima, where he's got such a strong artistic vision.
Yeah, Sakurai's his vision was strong. It wasn't very intricate.
Incidentally, I would now just realize I would love to see a Kojima made Kirby game.
Oh please, don't hurt me like.
Here's the villain, Mr. Cloudman.
Don't give me hope like this. I am gonna vote for Kirby's Dream Land, by the way.
All right, we've done it.
And Mick.
Have we?
Yeah, it's 3.
Yeah, 3-1.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm voting for Bartman versus Radioactive.
Oh, I thought Clanky voted for Bartman and then told no one else to vote for it.
No.
Okay.
No. All right.
Bartman.
So,
Fighter of the Radioactive Man.
I should just mention Mick. Sakurai has a YouTube channel which he uploads every other day, and he talks about. No, it's called Masahiro Sakurai is creating games.
No, I said we could do a collab.
How hard would it be to get Sakurai on the Yearlies?
He just did a video on how 1986 was the best year in games. I'm like, oh, dude, we should have him on for the 1986 Yearlies.
Yeah, sure.
Here's
he
the
would
thing.
get on, and I would be like, "What is it with you and Waluigi?"
So
What
here,
does
so
Sakurai have to do
here,
with Waluigi?
so I have an answer
Was
to
this
the
man
question of
also?
how hard would it be to get him on the show, and I think I'm very confident saying easier than you think, but not that much easier.
It's still probabilistically impossible, but
I'd say we have a better shot than you might have expected. I don't know. It's a weird hunch I have.
easier to get him on than
Look, when I get
Hideo
my Nobel
Kojima.
Peace Prize, it'll be a full rotten conclusion.
We'll send a photo of one of us holding a knife to Kirby. You have to do what you.
He'll check to see if it's a Kirby that he designed or not.
Nah, I think he'll only show up if Medios is on the bracket, honestly. But I digress.
Reminder: the man doesn't speak English.
Oh yeah, I think we all went in with that assumption.
Mick will play.
Yeah, it would be very tricky.
I don't speak Japanese. I can read memes in Mandarin.
We could get we could get Shohei Otani's translator. He's not doing much at the moment. Round 3. Graham got that joke. Wow.
These are the
Round
baseball
3
jokes, people.
Is...
Because it was on the news.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
national.
yeah.
It was a national news story. He was stealing from him and betting on things.
Yeah.
Contra 3, The Alien Wars, which is a Graham pick, versus Dune 2, The Building of a Dynasty, not directed by Denis Villeneuve, who is it's a Mick pick.
Yeah.
Who would like to go first?
Can I go first? I'll probably be quick.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I want
All right,
to
go.
Jordan insert a clip of like I have played every game that's on.
Okay. Okay.
Some
That's
more than
good
others.
news.
Some more than others. This is the others.
Yes.
I've played very briefly bits of Contra 3: The Alien Wars on the SNES Classic.
Minutes or
and
seconds?
I want to say I definitely longer than 15 minutes. But yeah,
More than
like
we can say for Aliens Isolation.
yeah.
Or
And Lemmings.
Well, not more. He has played more of it since, I think.
I have played I'm not gonna play Lemmings. Anyway, yeah, Contra 3: The Alien Wars is a Contra game. We all know what Contra is, right?
We talked about it already, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but you remember I said even then that I don't know what the fuck it's doing here, because it was Super C, not Contra 1. But I've actually played this game way more than Graham.
Yeah. Take it away.
Oh, that doesn't mean I have much. But
Man, this is going great.
well, listen, my cousin and I actually co-opted this game a lot when
That's fun.
he had a retro duo and
So
he was
dismissive.
No, I meant to genuinely.
Sure, no, it was endearing.
Okay, sorry.
He said it endearingly. I know enough about Clanky's tonality.
Gotcha.
to know
No,
he
the
was
way
being
I heard it
serious.
was, that's fun.
Anyway, let's get the adult
Wow,
games in
Clanky,
here.
What a passive-aggressive way to talk to Taylor. What a shitty response.
I know. He's so passive aggressive. Why would he say it like that?
Yeah, look, it's Contra on Super Nintendo, so it got the Super Nintendo upgrade that the originals have. You know, the graphics are crisper. There's more happening on screen. It's nicer. It's more polished. I think it's harder, and Contra is already really hard. So I've never been able to beat this one, just like I couldn't beat Super C. My cousin has, I think, because even though my cousin has played tens of thousands of hours less of games than me, he's somehow better than me. He's just got the instincts to be better. Playing Mario Kart with that dude is such a fucking headache because he's just somehow good at the RNG Mario Kart. He's also better at me than Smash. You know, this is going to turn into a rant about my cousin being better at games than me.
Some people just have that magic touch with games that it's just they can just pick it up in like 30 fucking you know what I mean.
And then he just gets a job as a banker and just turns it all away. Yeah, so the only thing that's worth noting is that, Contra likes to do this thing where, instead of just having a bunch of side-scrolling levels, we need to break it up with some weird gimmick shit. And Contra 3's thing is, we're going to do a bird's-eye view where you go around nuking thing. It's stupid. It's stupid. I don't like it.
Like a Hotline Miami thing?
Yeah, but, not with,
like a John Wick Chapter 4 thing?
Listen, I don't want to completely say no. I don't know. Here, Jordan, put some footage of the weird Contra part here, and you'll tell me later.
Okay.
It's good. Okay, this is it's Contra. Contra's fun. It's just not my favorite Contra.
I know one thing about
That sounds
this
like a controversial opinion.
You are Contra. I know one thing about this game. I only know the final boss. I don't know anything else about the game.
I don't even know the final boss.
I've seen...
Because as I established, could not beat this game.
Back in the day, I saw people talk about the final boss. It's like, this is one of the hardest bosses in video games ever, before they kept shifting the goalpost every single year that they made those countdowns.
Well, you can only take one hit in Contra, so I believe it.
I won't talk about it, but I do know it. So you all can just imagine what I'm thinking.
It's probably an alien.
I bet it's a guy named Frank.
Jordan, you might be closer than you think.
All right. Dune 2.
All right.
I thought it was called Doom Messiah.
That's the third movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, Dune 2. Well, again, another super revolutionary game. This is more or less the nearest common ancestor for almost all real-time strategy games alive today. All of them can trace their legacy back to Dune 2. Yeah. Anything that's really considered like there were real-time strategy games before that, like one called Hedgehog Zwei, but it wasn't. Look, it was a console RTS, and they all kind of suck across the board.
You take your units, you put them over here.
Yeah. So Dune 2 was yeah. Dune 2 is the sequel to a previous Dune game made by Westwood Studios, although the previous one was an adventure game. But they decided for the sequel to make a strategy game, and inadvertently wind up basically totally innovating a new genre, that being the real-time strategy game, where you build up a base on one side of the map, harvest resources, use that to create a bunch of units, and use that to destroy the enemies on the other side of the map. The premise of the game is obviously it's based on the Dune sci-fi franchise. You have the choice between playing one of three houses, the Atreides, the Harkonnens, or the Ordos. The Ordos are non-canon. They were invented. I'm not sure if they were invented for the game or if they're from some like other non-canon source or something. But point being, you're a three-way war. You're trying to fight over the spice and trying to take over Arrakis. So you harvest spice, build more units, use that protect your guys and destroy enemy houses while you harvest more spice. So you can harvest the most spice and have the most spice at the end.
Are you saying spies or spice?
Spice.
Spice.
The spice must flow, Taylor.
The spice.
Yes.
Yeah,
Nick,
it's a.
Spice.
If you ask me what a real-time strategy game is, I'm gonna kill you.
No, I have something way stupider in mind.
Okay.
So, I'm looking at images. Do you see? You know how there's a button in the top left that says Mentat?
Yeah.
So, I was looking at images, and when you look at it from far away, the M kind of looks like an H, and the T kind of looks like an I. I thought it said hentai.
Oh God.
Oh my.
Frank Herbert was into a lot of weird shit, but that's not one of them.
How accurate is that to
I was
the
like,
book?
you're right, Nick. This is really innovative. It was the first game with a hentai button.
Yeah, so the Mentat were basically the Mentat are people who have used spice to essentially become human computers.
It's also a drug in the
So the Food Network then.
Yeah, and everyone there wears that Ahego shirt everywhere they go. No, sorry.
So yeah, no, like
Tell me it was the first sex game.
yeah, but like so in terms of like yeah, so
Joseph Ferris must love it.
yeah, so like yeah, so you go around, like I said, the things that this game basically innovated, a world map from where you choose your next mission location, resource gathering to fund unit construction, base and unit construction, a technology tree, having different factions with unique unit types and whatnot, and using a mouse to select things, because again, that was kind of novel at the time. Yeah, but like just giving you an idea of after this game releases, the studio that made it, Westwood Studios, they decide we want to make their own game in this, but we're not going to use the Dune license anymore. We're going to create our own in-house game, and they release a little game called Command and Conquer.
This is
Oh, is that
back.
same people? Okay.
Yeah.
One place that isn't corrupted by capitalism.
Yeah. So
Ready?
that game owes its existence to Dune 2. A little game studio you may have heard of called Blizzard Entertainment.
I've never heard
decides, hey, how about we'll make our own version of Dune 2, except we'll make it a fantasy version, and they create Warcraft Orcs and Humans, the first Warcraft game, which will eventually lead to StarCraft and World of Warcraft and every other Blizzard spin-off of that. And finally, this is a little bit later, but it does technically draw its inspiration ultimately from Dune 2, which is Ensemble Studios will decide to sort of combine this kind of gameplay with Civilization and create Age of Empires. So quite literally, Yeah, Dune 2 is probably one of the most influential games in existence. Considering all
Mick,
of
what
Kickstarter.
you're saying is Dune 2 led to Overwatch.
Wow.
It led to a lot of other things too, though.
When you put it like that.
Yikes.
Is that a good thing, though?
It led to Overwatch. It also led to League of Legends. You know what?
Oh,
I don't
no,
know how,
Mick,
I don't know
Mick.
how much I can improve this.
Mick, say some good games, quick.
Oh, the misery!
And you can still play Dune 2, and it's still a lot of fun.
It's funny because like the joke I made about the other game in this bracket being having a final boss, which is just a guy named Frank. If you get a good enough at Dune 2, you will probably fight a guy named Frank.
You don't know that.
There's a pretty good chance.
I wonder
Any
if when I
other
see the
last
movies,
games,
I'll
though?
find out.
Yeah.
I think you'll find. Are we good on these? Can we go to the vote?
I think so,
Any
yeah.
last comments on these games? Okay. We start still with Clanky.
So Contra 3 really isn't like even the best Contra game.
Well, I will say this. I've been thinking about it. There are a lot of cool set piece moments. Like, Mick, you know your favorite scene in the A-Team?
No.
Where they fucking shoot.
You will not even. This is entertain.
Never give your enemy an inch.
Clanky, there's a
Mick-
segment in Contra 3
Mick
where
doesn't
you...
remember things.
There's a segment in Contra 3 where you ride a ballistic missile and you shoot enemies while on the missile.
Oh,
And
that
I think-
boss is cool. That's a cool boss.
I think that Contra 3 does have some pretty cool set piece moments like that. That I do think it does. That like the NES Contras could not do that kind of stuff that Contra 3 could do. I'm just sour because I haven't beaten it.
Dune 2 has
Fair enough.
sandworms.
Ooh. All right. I need
Yes.
a second to think
If
about
you
this.
walk
Can
without
you skip
rhythm,
me?
you will.
You won't attract the worm.
Yes, if you walk without rhythm, you never learn. Graham is next.
I'd probably play Contra 3 again before playing Dune 2, but I'm intrigued by Dune 2. Dune.
Oh, so you're voting for Dune?
I'm voting for Contra 3.
Oh, you're voting for Contra 3. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Dune.
Sorry, you confused me there. All right, Taylor.
I think even though I have some issues with Contra 3, I think a lot of them stem from just my appreciation for the franchise as a whole and like being able to compare and contrast it. And I just like, I think I still do want to get in there and finish it because it's something that I haven't done. And I really now I got to see that final boss. I got to go meet Frank the alien.
Yeah, I mean, the part where he whips out the dice, that's the best part.
And like, it doesn't change the fact that Contra is just super satisfying to play, and like all the weapons feel so good, and just the run and gun of it all. I mean, I love Contra games. So yeah, I'll still vote for Contra 3.
All right, Christian.
My favorite part of the Contra 3 final boss fight is when he summons the sandworms. I'm voting for Dude 2.
Oh, okay. Mick.
If you walk without rhythm, you won't attract the worm. Dune 2.
I ain't got rhythm.
I was thinking it too,
Got
honestly.
rhythm.
I can't believe the drummer guy from Phineas and Ferb is immune to sandworms.
No, but then they gave him his rhythm back.
And
That's true.
No,
That was a tragic end of the
worm.
episode where suddenly he gets swallowed up. Can I just say, I'm saying this as a joke, but you know darn well that
Well,
they
Mick,
would totally do a
they're
Phineas and Ferb X Dune crossover if they
They're
could.
reviving Phineas and Ferb.
Yes.
It could still happen.
It could.
They did a Star Wars one, so it would only
Exactly.
make sense.
Mom, Phineas and Ferb walking without rhythm.
They were
No,
tracking
Phineas
the
and Ferb were
sand.
harvesting spice.
Candace, you're a bad character. Shut up.
I'm just
Are
putting
are
Doofus
you a little
First as a
young?
Harkonnen with like the tub of fat thing. I haven't seen the Dune movie. Anyway, Clanky.
Spice must flow.
Well, it's 3-2. It's 3-1 rather, right?
It's 2-2.
It's 2-2.
No, it's 2-2.
Oh
yeah.
fuck me, dude.
Which I get. If it's 2-2, that means it's Dune 2, obviously.
Ah,
2-2, so you better get your dancing shoes on.
I think
Step on rhythm.
Okay, Graham.
Dune 2 is the best game in the Dune 2 franchise.
Okay, well,
And I'll say, Clanky, even though Contra 3 is not my favorite, a lot of people do think it's the best one.
okay, well that. Oh, all right. Here's the thing. I'm gonna vote for Contra 3 because I think that's the one I'm more likely to play.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, round 4, some pretty big titles here. You have Mortal Kombat, which is a Graham pick. Thank you. And it's up against Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which is a Christian pick. Who would like to go first?
This is the only time I would like to go first.
Okay. Your time starts now.
You motherfuckers, you all wanted a Sonic game where you could go fast most of the time? Here you go. A Sonic game where you can go fast most of the time.
Yeah.
I hope you're happy. So I guess just I don't need to get, I have a couple of run-throughs for some of my picks. I don't think I need to give a very big run-through for Sonic 2. It's the second game in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, one of Sega's flagship properties. It was released on Sonic Tuesday, which I think is very funny. The only fun fact I have about this game, sort of like pre-release, is that the development for this game was apparently nightmarish because they had 2 studios of Sega working together on the game, one speaking English and one primarily speaking Japanese. And so the culture and like game design sort of like differences would like clash between them. And this led to a lot of shit being cut from the game too, like the Hidden Palace Zone and the Genocide City Zone. Lots of stuff that would get revived by a lot of Sonic fan hackers later when they would make their own versions of this. Anyway, yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a game. It's like Sonic 1, but most of the zones are as good as Green Hill Zone. The way that this game handles its level design is just absolutely smooth as butter, where you are able to so effortlessly blast from location to location, yet the game still rewards your skill by allowing you to make very like high reflex maneuvers to stay on the higher paths. And if you do that, the game becomes even more fun. It is definitely some of the most invigorating a 2D Sonic game could possibly be, at least at around this era. A special mention has to go to Chemical Plant Zone, which might be my favorite Sonic level ever. And I'll get to that in a second, actually, because... but that's the thing, Chemical Plant Zone is going through the tubes is so much fun. Like, the fact that the level is split, like, you revisit parts of Chemical Plant Zone in the same zone, but by going through certain triggers, you can either go down to lower paths or higher paths, and this is how they're able to condense the level design together. It's so interesting. Taylor was humming the Chemical Plant song earlier. This game's soundtrack is so goddamn good. It is fucking... you know what? Actually, I take back what I said about Kirby Streamline. This has the best soundtrack on the bracket.
Wow.
Fucking amazing. Chemical Plant Zone. Yeah, I didn't want to fight you on that, but I was like, there's a Sonic game. Come on.
Exactly, you're right. You're absolutely right. What did I think? Yeah, Emerald Hill Zone, Oil Ocean Zone, fucking Metropolis Zone's also good. The final boss themes, fucking how can I forget Mystic Cave Zone? Oh my god. So
is this the one that has the Robotnik theme that goes like do 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 do?
Yep, the one they used in Mario Remix Boss Edition, exactly.
Yep, you knew exactly what I was
talking about. For a second there.
And it's weird. It's interesting that you talk about all the levels that are cut, because Sonic the Hedgehog 2 has like a surprisingly huge amount of worlds. I think they have like 11 worlds.
It's great. It's like double the length of the first game. And
yeah, and like I don't remember there particularly being anyone I didn't like, with one exception.
Is it Metropolis?
It's the final level. I think this has one of the worst final levels of any game of this generation, because
totally agree.
Hey, let's take a final stage in a game where if you run out of lives and continues, you have to start the whole game over. And let's not put any rings, and so you just have to do 2 bosses in a row without taking a single hit.
I've never beaten this game.
I can see why.
Yeah, I've save-stated beating this.
I think Sonic 1 is the only classic Sonic game I've beaten, and I had to use save states to beat it.
Yeah. Also, Super Sonic is introduced here.
Yes, Super Sonic. Oh, and the special stages are done so well in this one, because instead of having to do the 50 rings at the end of the stage, which I like because it adds a lot of stakes to that particular method of progressing through a level. In this one, it's so much easier to get Chaos Emeralds because you just have to hop into a glowing checkpoint. The special stages are hit and miss for a lot of people. I don't know how I feel about it.
Which were the special stages?
Half-pipe.
Half-pipe.
I was gonna say, isn't the half-pipe bad?
It's hit or miss with a lot of people.
Here's what it is.
It's certainly not my least favorite special stage.
Clanky, you know how Pokemon is like always trying to remind you how great Gen 1 is?
Yeah.
So Sonic is always trying to remind you how great Half-Pipe was.
Oh.
And in Sonic 2, it's actually the worst it ever is in Sonic 2,
Oh,
actually.
man.
Much like Gen 1 of Pokemon.
Yeah, so true, so true.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it's just better. It's just better Sonic.
This game introduced Tails, and I love
agree,
that.
it's better Sonic. It's not best Sonic, but it's better Sonic.
Oh yeah, no, we'll get to best Sonic later, but this is... And I still think Sonic 1 is great Sonic, but this is better Sonic, for sure.
Do you guys think that Sonic is that Tails is orange or yellow?
He's orange.
Wait.
He's goldenrod.
He's probably right.
As soon as you said that, Clanky was gonna be like, "Oh, dude, my friend Spacey said this fun thing about orange earlier, but then I remembered you were there for that."
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
I
We're
think
all
yellow,
thinking it.
though,
We're all thinking it. Like,
I could see
bitch, wife wants Tails to be yellow.
I could see Tails being part of the Sinestro Corps, so I'm voting
Look,
for. I'm voting for yellow.
Honest, if we're being really honest, I think Tails' inclusion in this game is a bit of an afterthought.
But you can use him to do stupid shit, and that's funny.
Yes.
I like that.
I mean, yes, the fact that he's this invincible P2 does make for some interesting ideas.
You
but,
get your own personal butt monkey to hold the controller and kill bosses instantly. It's great.
I mean, I think the jokes created out of him being invincible are a lot more interesting than the concept itself.
And also, can I say personally? So there wasn't a ton of games that I really enjoyed playing with my younger brother when I was a kid. But this one, Sonic 2 was. Because you could play as Tails and get out of my fucking way. Nah.
I mean, that was the intent. That is what everyone who plays this game with their brothers says.
Brother mode. Yeah.
So
Little BS. It's the precursor to the Red Star from Mario Galaxy 2. It's like you get baby mode. Let the big kid play as the Blue Hedgehog.
All right, let's talk about the game that fucking established the ESRB rating system.
Well, that
Night Trap.
Yeah.
We put Night
All
Trap.
right, the other game that established the ESRB rating system. Yeah. I have a lot of respect for Mortal Kombat, personally. I'm not a big fighting guy, but Mortal Kombat's dope.
I am a big Mortal Kombat fan. That I can say.
What I'm learning from going back to the 90s Yearlies is that Christian is way more of a closet fighting game fan than I realized.
Aside from Mortal Kombat, which other ones actually?
Street Fighter.
Oh no, I remember what I said during that Yearlies. I put Street Fighter on there more out of respect than out of like.
That's right, I forgot about that.
Mortal Kombat I would put on. Yeah, like Mortal Kombat I would put on because I liked it. I didn't put it on in this case. A similar reason I didn't put on Kirby's Dream Land actually, but I didn't put it on.
Grant put it on, right?
Yeah, Grant, what do you have to say?
So remember when I said some of these games I played more than others?
This one was seconds.
This is the sum more.
Oh, we're so good. We're getting there.
I can't wait till we get to Indiana. It's like, this is, I've played.
He crossed 2 hours. Can you believe it?
But yeah, no, I mean, Mortal Kombat, I mean, see, the problem is I can't really, like, say too much because it's like, yeah, it's Mortal Kombat. Like, you all kind of know what your stance is on Mortal Kombat by this point.
Yeah, but it's not about a stance. It's just fun to talk about. I mean, dude, let's talk about fatalities.
They are not very good in this one.
I still have never done a fatality because I can never do, like, combos.
They're very difficult in the first game.
Because
They're
fighting game controls are stupid.
Yeah.
So I have a hot take about the fatalities.
Sure.
I think they're way too easy in modern Mortal Kombat games, and it really ruins the specialness of them.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
When they're a cool thing you really got to unlock, it actually like matters the fact that you managed to pull off something that grotesque.
Yeah.
But when it's literally like every match ends with a fucking
Cybot pulling you in half
into a blender. Yeah. You know, it's like, okay, come on, guys, it's not special anymore.
I also feel like the fatalities in modern Mortal Kombat games are too visceral, like everyone just kind of explodes, but I actually feel like the opposite is for the original Mortal Kombat. The fatalities in this game can honestly be too tame. Everyone points to Liu Kang's fatality as being exceptionally lame. But
Yet
like,
it was so gory that it established a rating system.
that is true. Sub-Zero single-handedly
that's the
established a
90s.
rating system.
Yeah. Sub-Zero is an iconic design. I mean,
I would argue Scorpion is more so.
I mean, they're the fucking same character.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
and
say
Reptile
that.
is pretty iconic too.
You're talking to number 1 Mortal Kombat lore
Mac.
carer here because Vinny's not here.
Oh, dude, I have this in my notes. Finny sat me down one day, and he tried to explain the lore of Mortal Kombat to me. And I gotta tell you, man, he really, really tried.
Okay.
I do like. There's just something like about like Mortal Kombat 1 that's like kind of like quaint in comparison, and plus like I just love like Scorpion and Sub-Zero. I love how the fact that any Mortal Kombat property, I'm pretty sure, is gonna have at least one of them in it.
But
It's,
you know-
it's strange because if at least one of them happens more often than people would think. Strangely enough, like both of them being it is not a guarantee.
The more I think about it, though, isn't Mortal Kombat kind of like Sonic 1 in the way that
Yes.
like Mortal Kombat 2 is just a much better Mortal Kombat 1?
100%. Mortal Kombat 1 is a little janky. There's not really much reason to go back to it now that 2 and 3 exist.
There's like 7 characters, right?
Yeah, I think it's 1, 2, 3. It might be 8. I'm not actually sure. If you don't count Goro and Shang Tsung. But yeah, no, there's not really much of a reason to go back to Mortal Kombat 1 besides nostalgia.
There
and,
have been a surprising amount of attempts to remake Mortal Kombat 1 that have like all floundered like for some reason. Most of them Warner Brothers.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, that actually does leave me a bit curious. What
Yeah,
do they
like,
have?
no, newest one-
There
Isn't
was,
the newest one called Mortal Kombat 1?
but it's not a remake. It's
It's
more
not a remake, it's a
like,
reboot.
a
That Battlefield
reboot.
1 thing.
Yeah.
Well, sort of. It's actually not a true reboot.
No, like
it's,
I think
It's like
I
an
think there,
alternate timeline start,
like
right?
there was at least one remake where like they were like, going to try to like digitize like actors again, like and
yeah, because they
uh,
rotoscoped in this one, in like this for the first Mortal Kombat game. All the like the characters were rotoscoped.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
And that is
and-
another thing just worth mentioning is I think that the digitized actors also add a lot to the charm.
Oh, definitely. It's a neat look, but I'm gonna say Mortal Kombat 1 is irrelevant compared to 2 and 3. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
No, you're right. You can
Yeah. And unfortunately,
bum,
Mortal
bum,
Kombat doesn't
bum,
have 20 different versions for us to talk about, unlike another
Damn.
fighting.
Damn.
it does have 20 different
Right.
versions. Oh no, the first one doesn't have 20 different
Yeah,
versions.
we'll
Yeah,
get
yeah,
to 2 and
It's gonna be like,
3
what are you
later.
talking about? There's a bunch of these games.
Going to the vote, we start still with Clanky.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really say much about either of these, but I think like the Yearlies have made me realize that I'm not really a Sonic fan.
Oh.
I think if I were to try a Sonic game, it would be specifically Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but I'm under the firm stance that the best Sonic games are Sonic fan games. And I think, I don't know, I hate to be that blunt about it, but that's just truly how I feel. But Mortal Kombat is a fun fighting game, and that's all I can really say about it, but it's fun, it's cute, so I'll vote for Mortal Kombat.
I was gonna say it took you to 1992 to realize you're not a big Sonic fan.
We had to
You know-
go backwards through him to realize.
You know how many fucking Sonic games we put on here?
Yeah, and I think the thing that like
a lot of
the
time.
thing that made me realize is that I just didn't vote for like any of them except Sonic and the Secret Rings.
Sonic games have such a disadvantage in the Yearlies because Clanky and Graham will never vote for them.
Speaking of me, I'm gonna vote for Mortal Kombat.
Like clockwork. Like clockwork.
Taylor.
If I voted for Mortal Kombat, it would be like admitting that Sonic the Hedgehog 1 is better than Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and there's no way I'm doing that. So I'm voting for Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Okay. Would have been funny if you still voted for Mortal Kombat. Christian.
One day I will funnel up all of your fucking vitriol for the first Sonic game and serve it back to you on a delicious platter. But for now, I like Sonic 2 a little better, so I'm gonna vote for that.
Nick. Finish him.
And Sonic 2.
Yes, Sonic actually won a round. Let's go.
The U.S. government finally did something. Sorry, I'm on a Simpsons kick apparently.
God.
Oh yeah. No, of course. Right. We go on now to round 5, which has Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, not 5, not 7, 6.
8 is right
Clanky and Taylor.
8 is right out.
5 is right out. Clanky and Taylor both suggested this one. Versus Kid Chameleon, which is not a Steely Dan song, which Christian put up. Who would like to go first?
Do you want to, Clanky? We could tag team it.
Could I? Yeah, I just have a couple things to say about Mario Land 2. Okay, I think that this game has really interesting level design and some of the most unique worlds you've ever seen in a Mario game. One of the levels, you're in a giant mechanical Mario, and in the level located in his crotch, you have a ball-themed level. They couldn't have been more on the nose.
I fucking knew it. As soon as you said the word level, I was
in my
like...
notes too.
Yeah, it's very unique in that sense. The only problem I have with it is that it's on the Game Boy, so Mario takes up a fifth of the screen, and you can't really see where you're going a lot of the time. And I can't help but feel that this game would be phenomenal on like a Super Nintendo.
I feel like the levels are kind of built with the screen crunch in mind, almost, because it's slower than your normal 2D platformer to an extent. You know, like the bunny suit, the carrot power-up, like, you don't go too fast. I don't think his dash is as fast as it is in a traditional NES, or even the Mario Land, the first Mario Land, I think you go slower in this one. And, like, you have some levels that are, like, auto-scrollers. So I feel like it's, in my opinion, never too big of a deal.
That's fair, but like I guess my point is that if it's something that I notice and the game accounts for it, I think that that's a little. I think that kind of speaks to how like crunchy it can be with like its level design.
And also, I think that the zoom in did allow for a lot better sprite work. I think this is like a really good looking Game Boy game.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. It looks.
Oh, in terms of Game Boy games, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
This game has unique bosses too. One of my favorites being, can I spoil Super Mario Land 2 6 golden coins?
Sure.
Oh, dude, I was just about to play it.
Hold on, let's check out our legal department.
Okay. Well, let me know when you're good.
Okay. Oh, really? That much?
To shred.
It would cost. He said it would cost 5.
Our legal department is really running the ropes.
Is this what we pay our lawyers for?
Ooh, yeah. I'll make sure Clanky doesn't know.
All
right. Yeah. Go ahead, Clanky.
It's good. Well, what they say, Graham?
This is you're good.
Okay.
Shreds, you say.
Oh, final boss of this. The final boss of this game is Wario, and what he does something that I really like in games where they like the boss himself uses the same power-ups that you were using throughout your adventure. It's super cute, and even though the grind to getting to Wario is grueling, I think that it is a very fun and cool final boss.
It's not just that he's the final boss. This is the introduction of the character Wario.
That's true. This was when my main man came to be.
Oh yeah.
And we all love Wario here, right?
I love him. He's so.
Oh
so
yes, we do.
Wario!
And you love him to shreds, man.
What's funny is Nintendo Power was hyping this game up while it was coming out, and they had a comic where like it's Wario and he's so mad at Mario. He's like, when we were in daycare, Mario was bullying me, and that's why Wario hates Mario.
Okay.
He looks kind of weird in this game.
I mean, in this game, I would believe that he's 10 feet tall. In this one.
The thing is, as Clanky just pointed out, he's using all the power-ups against you, including the mushroom.
Yeah.
So when you beat him, he shrinks.
It's the best part of the fight. It's like the little tiny Wario with like the 2 sprouts of hair on his head.
A couple other things I want to point out. You can do the 6 worlds in any order, which I think was a big deal back then.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a lot of freedom. I think we were talking about how Kirby Dream Land is like this introduction game, and we talked about how there's probably better stuff. I feel like this would be that better introductory game, because like, you know, they're obviously different games, but the idea that you could just pick this game up and clear it still pretty fast, honestly, I still think is a constant.
This game doesn't seem like the easiest game in the world.
It's pretty easy. It's the last level, there is a big difficulty spike, but that's mostly because there aren't any checkpoints in it. The level itself is not that bad.
If you played it like me and made your own artificial checkpoints using very legal means, then it was fine.
I mean, I don't even think you need to go that far, honestly. But like, to each their own. And also, there's a casino to grind out lives. You pull the lever, and whatever it lands on, you get like that many extra lives, which I think helps mitigate the fact that lives are still here and are always stupid.
Mario and gambling are truly inseparable.
No,
you can't have
Sonic and gambling are truly inseparable.
I honestly think that's why they do get out all the time. They both have gambling
They're fighting
addictions.
over their gambling earnings.
Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Casino Games.
Yeah. Man, the blackjack game where you play as Eggman is really
Sega has to gamble every time they put out a new Sonic game.
It's true.
Have you ever seen that picture of like all the old people lined up on the slot machines constantly pushing the button? Imagine that with like Mario and Sonic.
That's how I feel looking at Nintendo cards.
Damn,
I got roasted.
So all of this is to say that there are obviously better Mario games, but as far as a pick up and play and just beat it goes, like this is a very approachable and in that sense honestly top tier Mario game.
Cool.
You want to talk about approachable?
All right.
Then don't talk about the next game. Kid Chameleon is one of the big old Sega Genesis games that a lot of people think of when you bring up the Genesis in a conversation. You don't think of Sonic. If you don't think of Sonic, this is one of the platformers people might bring up alongside like Dynamite
It goes Sonic, then Kid Chameleon.
So true, honestly. And Kid Chameleon is a platformer for the Genesis. That was another one of the games on the Genesis plug-and-play that I had. This was probably tied for Sonic 1 for the game that I would play the most. Basically, this is a 2D platformer where you go into a virtual world where this evil guy is taking over the whole game. He's basically Sword Art Online to the whole thing, and you have to go in and basically traverse a bunch of video game levels to fight off the bad guy and you win the game. It is the most video gamey game you could possibly game. If someone's in a movie and they're just mashing random buttons, they're probably playing Kid Chameleon. Like, let's be real with ourselves. The thing about this game is that this game has 103 fucking levels. And the main draw of this game is the chameleon in the name. And you're about to realize why I like this game, is because throughout the game you can pick up several hats. About 10 hats in total that correlate to different power-ups that you can use in the game. Not too dissimilar from Kirby copy abilities. Actually 9 hats, I was wrong there. You have a knight, an iron knight that can climb walls. You have a red samurai that can use a sword and go swish swish. You have this thing called a berserker, which is this angry looking stegosaurus guy that can ram walls. You have the Maniacs, which is just Jason Voorhees, but he throws axes at everything, and he's fucking awesome. You have the Juggernaut, which is this thing in a tank, and you're just in the tank, and you go beep beep. There's Micromax, which turns you into the Fly, but I'm sorry, you're not Jeff Goldblum. You have Cyclops, which is like Cyclops from X-Men, but the power sucks. Skycutter lets you surf across the air, and Cyclone is the tornado ability from Kirby. It's great. All these powers are sprinkled throughout the game, so you can basically switch all the time between the powers and be like, I want this, and it's great. This movie, there's a reason I just said that. This game is one of the most 90s things I think I've ever consumed in terms of media.
I'm looking at the box art.
Yeah, just if you take a look at the fucking box art for this game, like, it's so, like, so 90s.
Kid from the Wizard.
Yeah, exactly. The main character's name is Casey, and you have to fight this villain called Heady Metal. It's so...
Heady, you say?
Exactly. We'll get to that in this game later. And I guess like this game, it just has a sort of like Genesis charm to it. Like the twang is so strong in this, and like whenever an enemy comes, there's only one sound effect for enemies, and it's a really big crushed door. That plays whenever an enemy does literally anything, and I find it so charming. I started off this entry by saying that this was a very nostalgic pick, because this is an incredibly nostalgic game for me. And the reason why I have to say that is because nostalgia carries this one quite a bit. Because you may have noticed I haven't talked about the level design at all.
Can I just say, I'm so proud of us. We're all being very honest about our entries this year. I'm like, Dragon Quest IV, not the best Dragon Quest. Clanky, Bartman, not a good game.
Like,
Just not
We're
good.
all being very honest.
This game's levels are not fair. They are really, really hard. It's really funny because there's this video on YouTube that makes the rounds. If you type in something along the lines of the title is literally the hardest level in any game, and it's a level from this game with almost 50,000 views. And yeah, no, this game is just the level design is just complete bullshit. Once you get past around 10 levels, it starts to go downhill. But when the game, at those moments when the game is not bullshit, it is a pretty sweet platformer experience. But holy fuck. There are these levels with this murder wall that chases you, and if it hits you, you die instantly. And in the murder wall levels, there are these dead-end pathways that they trap you in. It fucking sucks. There's so much instant kill lava. There's one thing I forgot to bring up. This game's level system is actually like this huge map with branching pathways and a bunch of secret exits, which is actually a really cool thing about the game. But the bad part is that a lot of them are dead ends to super hard levels that do nothing but drain your lives because they're just giant bottomless pits or columns with fireballs. It's like, fuck. I love this game. It's a huge nostalgic darling.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Do you think it would be fun or tedious to play this game without an emulator? Play it like this is on the Genesis, right?
You should never play this game without an emulator. If you play this without an emulator, you're a psychopath.
Okay, I'll write that down.
Yeah,
believe me, we have many psychopaths in this group. One of us actually bought the Ouya at launch.
Well, Clanky, then
I
you
was
would
wrong
love
the comment we
this
had
game.
about honesty. Yeah, no more of that.
I was just too enticing. I had to be there all night.
Or would you even wait
Alright.
outside for it?
The voting
Like,
order.
where were they selling it that you could have had midnight launch?
The Ouya is so
Circuit City.
small.
That explains
has
a lot
to-
about Circuit City.
Alright.
It has to be some like rundown place, like a rundown Circuit City or something, a Radio Shack.
Radio Shack.
Radio Shack. Graham, you're up first now.
Give it to Mario. He deserves it.
Okay.
Mario doesn't get a lot in the yearlies, does he? I say that in the most sarcastic tone possible. Derogatory.
Yes.
Derogatory.
I'll give it to Super Mario
Taylor.
Land 2, the 6 slightly yellow pieces of metal.
Ah. You open them up, they're chocolate. It's actually really cool. Christian.
Tradition.
Fuck, there was something else about Kid Chameleon
Tradition.
I wanted to say. I'll have another chance to remember it, but yeah, I feel
At least one chance to remember.
yeah, exactly. Actually, definitely only one chance. But that's the thing. You can't really talk about Kid Chameleon without bringing up the level design. Not even Kid Chameleon fans. Oh, yes, I remember now. One of my favorite things about this game is the wiki. The fandom wiki for this game is
you're
one
really reaching.
It's one of
Cope.
It's one of the least objective things I've ever seen. People will write on there. They're just like, in my opinion, this level is like this. Like, they'll write this level like, this level's bullshit. It's so unfair. If you get to this level, turn off your Genesis. It's like,
Kid Chameleon Wiki is the last bastion of
Can I-
American freedom.
Can I change my vote to Kid Chameleon?
sure, you can. There's no one stopping you. I'm gonna vote for Kid
All right.
Chameleon, but like, this is my Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds.
Oh man.
2011
like-
You're
World
what?
Championship over the Nexus.
So yeah, sorry, my Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds Championship 2011 World Tour over the Nexus.
Christian's like, this game is great. It has a
Um,
community.
And we all think the
The
game
first
sucks
line of the
too.
wiki is
They're like
the
Weezer
first
fans.
line of the wiki is, "Hello, my name is Christian Lastname, and I love this game."
Oh man.
Kid Chameleon fans are like Weezer fans. We fucking hate this game.
It's so true.
It's our
I don't know,
it's
I
our
love
favorite game. We hate it. Yeah. So Christian, your pitch for Kid Chameleon, I felt an immense kinship for you. So I'm voting for Kid Chameleon.
Yeah,
see
that's
why.
Are you serious?
And
Yeah, I'm
and
serious.
Clanky.
Yeah, Christian, it's a Mario game. Of course he's voting for Kid
But
Chameleon.
that means Kid Chameleon wins.
Yeah.
I'm changing my vote to Super Mario Land
Yes.
Wait, I'm
Really?
I'm voting for Kid Chameleon.
Me too, Clanky.
At 2, Clanky.
You know what? I'm not gonna fight it anymore. I'm not gonna fight it. I'm just gonna let it happen.
Clanky, can you explain your reasoning to me? Because you hate the Genesis.
I guess that's fair, but I guess like my logic is that like besides like the unique fun level design and ideas and Wario, I can't really
You
say
mean
there's
the
much.
whole game?
Clanky, can I tell you something? Because you still have a chance.
What has Super Mario and the 6 golden coins done for us?
Clanky, you still have a chance to
Yeah,
go back and
that's-
fix this.
I don't even think my brain can register the emotion for anger because Clanky never does this.
Although it's funny, if I didn't switch my vote, Kid Chameleon still would have won. This is crazy. What the hell? What the fuck?
Okay. We move on now to.
I just want to point out, Christian, the thing that clinched the deal was you talking about how everyone on the wiki is totally untrustworthy.
It's so.
And then Graham's like, oh, definitely that one.
It's just everyone's fucking
Yeah.
opinions.
This is the first ever Yearlies with an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
I like how
Alright,
they started out
everyone,
as this
so-
is the one where we're all really honest.
Yeah, and now it's your turn.
And now we're just. Yeah, so round 6
Christian?
is
Yeah.
The Town with No Name, which. How do you get packages sent there? Which is a Christian pick. Versus Alone in the Dark, which describes my current relationship status, which is a Mick
No.
pick.
Mick, you choose.
Christian, would you like
Wants
to go
to go
first?
first?
Do
Trust
you
me.
want me to go first?
I do.
Okay, then I will go first. That sounds good.
Fuck is this
Alright.
round?
This is
Time
the
is
funniest
starting
round
now.
I have ever seen.
How did these two games get on the bracket?
Shut up. Shut up. I will not stand for this slander.
So the
Christian, why
town,
the fuck did you put this game up?
the town with no name can be considered one of the first shitpost games ever made.
Give me a drink, bartender.
Oh boy.
It was developed by a organization called Delta 4 for the Commodore CD-TV and the
I love how
MS-DOS.
they're not even a studio, they're an organization.
Well, the reason why I say that is because it's mostly spearheaded by Scottish game developer Fergus McNeil, who is responsible for a lot of comedic, sort of like CD-TV and MS-DOS games. He made a video game adaptation of the Stephen King story, The Lawnmower Man, which gives you about a vibe as to what this guy comes across with. I knew about this game for a good bit because of, once again, from video YouTube countdowns. So the first time I ever saw this game being played was when Mick and Graham, we played it for Cactus Arcade.
So something good came out of it.
This game is a really, really silly, sort of like Western. You're this guy who shows up in the town with no name, and everyone is drawn as MS Paint drawings, and all the buildings are 3D, and you just show up, and the story just unfolds before you as you're just beholden with a bunch of rival cowboys who go by funny names like Zippy Zeke and Massive Jake. This game is the best way I can describe this game is that it is just imbued with this horrifically awkward energy, where the voice acting, which by the way is vile, the voice acting is so bad, and everyone pauses 4 seconds between their like, the main character sounds like this, and that's not an exaggeration.
He's supposed to be doing a John Wayne impression, but it's not a good one.
Exactly. It's not an
Happy
exaggeration.
Thanksgiving, pilgrims.
And there's so much surreal shit in this game that I don't even want to go into a lot of it, because like I can only go into like some of the bare basics, like give me a drink, bartender, and he slides the drink across the bar, but you can just choose not to grab it, and it awkwardly slides off the table and crashes into the ground.
Christian, can we at least talk about the ending?
I guess. I mean.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. He wants to save it so that we all play it and experience the joy
You
of
mean
the town
this-
with no name for ourselves.
You mean the secret ending?
Yeah,
No,
I'm
we
talking about the
cannot
secret
talk-
ending.
We cannot talk about the secret
Okay,
ending.
fine.
But look up the secret ending to this game. It's actually some of the funniest shit you could possibly see. And this game's poor quality contributes to those funny moments. There are moments where your character will get shot by someone and their head will just move off of their body. There is a horse in this game. Emphasis.
With no name?
Emphasis on horse, because if I showed you a picture of this horse, you would never guess that it was a horse. There is music in this game. The music was made by this entity known as the Jester. And you will be lucky if you ever hear a single ear-shattering ragtime saloon song that has a loop lasting longer than 3 seconds. At some points in this game, the music gets so loud that it just turns into static. It peaks the mic. It just... And then there's just a lot of weird eccentricities in this game. There's like transitionary text that says like, meanwhile, and it's in the Back to the Future font for some reason. There is a making of for this game, and it's just random like vacation pictures that are clearly not the making of for any video game that ever existed. I mean, look, I could just spend a little bit more time just like thinking of funny moments. You can just win a single baked bean from going into a building. They just give you a single baked bean. You can have sex for a week straight uninterrupted.
I have a bit about this game to mention. Where the developer Fergus McNeil came up with the idea for the game.
Oh yes, I know this bit.
He said, a friend of mine wore a pair of cowboy boots once. Wore a pair of cowboy boots once, and I'm like, well, I gotta make a game out of that.
That's it. That's the whole inspiration. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, no, this was one of the earliest meme games ever made. You do not play this because it's a good game. It is the room of video games.
Equivalent of a butthole stir for Zelda.
Yeah, it's the video game equivalent of a Neil Breen movie.
Yeah, but the thing is, the difference is, with the room, Tommy Wiseau genuinely believes the Room 2 is great.
This almost makes the Town with No Name better because it achieves its goal much better as a parody game.
So,
I'm so excited for this.
All right, guys. Strap in, boys.
I'm strapped, baby.
All right. So, Alone in the Dark. And,
yeah.
I just want to say, please, none of you interrupt me. I've got a whole thing planned, all right? I've got a whole thing I got to get through.
Gotcha.
All right? I'm going to do my best to make this as quick as possible. So, in 1991, French video game developer Infogrames, I have no idea how to pronounce their name, acquired the rights to adapt Chaosium's best-selling horror RPG, Call of Cthulhu, into a video game. Their first attempt became this game, Alone in the Dark. Through development, though, the game began to take a lot of inspiration from other horror creators in addition to Lovecraft. So, there's a lot of George Romero and Dario Argento influences, which eventually led them to drop the Call of Cthulhu branding. One of the most striking things about this game is that, unlike almost any other MS-DOS game at the time, items and characters in the game are rendered with full 3D models. The storyline of the game is pretty simple. You are trapped in a mansion haunted by the undying spirit of a pirate occultist in contact with dark inhuman gods. You have to escape the mansion. So what does the actual game play like? Put simply, Alone in the Dark walked so that Resident Evil could run.
Yeah.
The gameplay consists of avoiding and defeating enemies while puzzle solving your way out of a mansion. Alright? So, sounds great. Well, here's where the Dark Souls 2-esque part of the pitch begins.
Yes!
So the first hallway is a section of floor that, trust me, this is gonna go places you're not gonna expect. There's a twist ending to this pitch. There's a twist ending to this pitch. So the first hallway has a section of floor that, if you step on it, will collapse into a bottomless pit, killing you instantly. Welcome to Alone in the Dark. So, your first step when you boot up this game is you have to pick a character. Your choices are Clown Woman and the Reptile. Clown Woman is easy mode, she's faster and gains a free hint for one of the puzzles. The Reptile is the game as intended. So, now you're in the game. Remember how I mentioned that the game had 3D models? Well, that's only for characters and objects. Everything else is 2D fixed hand-drawn bitmaps, which means fixed camera angles, ladies and gentlemen. This also means tank controls.
It just gets better.
But it gets worse. You run by double tapping the up arrow key. But if you're playing this on a modern PC, your rig will probably be too powerful and will often not record that input in time. So often, instead of running, you will instead be treated to the visual of the reptile shuffling slowly in a failed attempt to get away from the monster trying to kill him. Apart from the arrow keys, the other two buttons you need are Enter and Spacebar. Space interacts with things, but if you press it when you first load up the game without doing anything else, the reptile will immediately start to dance. This is him entering a combat stance. To fight, you hold space and use the arrow keys to change up different attacks. To do anything else, you need to press Enter, select Actions, and from there you can choose between Fight, Interact, Push, and Close. That will switch what the spacebar does. For the most part, you'll be on Interact. But this means that when you get attacked, you've got to pause the game, select Fight, aim yourself, enter the fighting stance, begin charging up the attack, and hope the monster doesn't attack you first in that amount of time. And also, you also have to make sure you're lined up in the first place. And remember, fixed camera angles, tank control. This can be frustrating, especially since some monsters can basically stun lock you. Oh, and have I mentioned, one of the first puzzles requires you to pick up some very breakable objects, and that if you get hit even once, they break and the game is soft-locked? To give you an idea of just like, this is like the best example of the kind of shenanigans this game you're in for in this game, right? There's one bit of the mansion where it's a long gallery of paintings, okay? You enter in from one end. Yeah, Taylor saw me play this bit. Taylor saw me experience this live for the first time. So, you enter in from one end, where there's a painting like a Daniel Boone-esque frontiersman with a tomahawk, alright? Well, when you start walking down the hallway, the painting will throw a tomahawk at you and kill you, alright? So you reload your save and try again. This time dodging out of the way. Turns out the tomahawk homes in on you. Okay, then you say, okay, let's try hiding behind a wall. No, turns out they phase through walls. Okay, fine then. I go, if I can't dodge or hide from it, I'm just gonna book it down the hallway. I say, well, I get halfway down the hallway when I see at the other end, there's a painting of a Comanche warrior that suddenly fires an arrow at me from the opposite direction. And in that moment, the whole tomahawk thing makes me misremember the frontiersman as a Mohawk warrior, and I shout with genuine panic, there's a second Indian! The solution to this puzzle is, yeah, that's where that quote in the quotes channel came from.
Oh my god.
The solution to this puzzle is, let's just say special. Both paintings have separate solutions, and there's no rhyme or reason why one should only work on one painting and not on the other. After the gallery, you're finally right into the library, right? The library, which is a perfect segue into another topic. The game has books. It's got a bunch of books in it. Sometimes these books will give you details of the plot. A few give you hints to puzzles. Quite a few give you hints to puzzles that aren't in the game. They're hints to puzzles that aren't in the game. And a few of these books will just straight up kill you if you read them. How do you tell these last few books apart? You don't! You have to read them to find out which are which. The game also has this, like, really annoying problem with filling your inventory with shit you don't need. So, like, you'll pick up medkits, but when you want to heal, rather than just use the medkit, you have to open the medkit, remove a flask, and then drink the flask. And each time you interact with an object, it boots you back out of the menu, so you gotta reload the menu, scroll back down to what you're looking for, select that. So, you have to open the medkit, remove the flask, then drink the flask, and now in your inventory, you have an empty medkit and an empty flask. And because one-use items aren't consumed, you'll accumulate every single key in your inventory, because even though they only get used once, they just stay there. This won't be a major problem, except if all it did was color your inventory, that'd be one thing, okay? But there's an encumbrance system, and the game doesn't list the weights or the weights of objects, or even how much weight you can carry. It'll simply let you know that you have too much stuff in your inventory when you try and pick up the fucking gramophone for the third time, and you're now sitting in the corner checking your dozens of used keys and empty boxes so you can finally pick things up again. But ladies and gentlemen, I've only scratched the surface of the kind of nonsense this game has in store. There's a room that fills with unkillable spiders, a pirate that can dodge bullets with backflips, a room full of cigar smoke that will kill you if you breathe too much of it in, an unkillable bathtub Venus flytrap, mannequins that turn into collections of circles going yo why yo why yo why yo why that follow you throughout the map and kill you in 1 minute, and you can even just be run over by a stack of barrels in the cellar if you're not careful. Oh, last section of the game. A jump button is added, and suddenly there's platforming challenges with tank controls and fixed camera angles on flat backgrounds. Oh, my favorite! The final boss of the game is something truly special. I won't spoil it, but the solution is simultaneously the most intuitive and unintuitive thing in the world. This is the kind of thing where you think, it's kind of like it's a puzzle adventure game. So you kind of go, well, this works in real life, but not an adventure game. But fuck it, let's try it anyway. Except this time it actually works. But not for me. My game glitched and it didn't work. So I wandered around the place for 2 fucking hours trying other things before looking it up, realizing my game was glitched, and had to reload an earlier save to finally beat the final boss. Taylor knows about this because I messaged him about it at 3 o'clock in the morning one night.
Yep.
I know what you're all thinking. That sounds awful. I get it. I was trying to put my thoughts together for this pitch, and I realized all the nice things I could say about this game were backhanded compliments.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Which begs the question, why do I genuinely love this game so much? I can't explain why. This game got its hooks into me and wouldn't let go. This started out with me going, oh, Alone in the Dark. I know this game by reputation. I've heard a lot about it. I heard it's a classic. It's the first 3D survival horror game. It's basically a precursor to Resident Evil. I should play it and possibly put it on the bracket for this year. And the first time I played it, I'm like, this is kind of bad. But I can be obsessed with it. And I just genuinely couldn't stop playing it. It was so I was having fun. I don't know why I was having fun, but I was having fun. I get legit obsessed. How obsessed, you ask? I only bought this game a month ago, and I am now, ladies and gentlemen, I am now at the time of this recording. Jordan will edit something in this changes. I am, with an official time of 14 minutes and 57 seconds, ranked 5th in the world for the Alone in the Dark 1 any % glitchless speedrun.
Holy shit.
That's the most
Oh my
competitive
God.
category for this game, and I
Oh my
swear this is
God.
not a bit. I have the receipts to prove it.
They
Oh
told me this.
my
fucking
god.
Holy shit.
What a
So-
fucking
Holy
legend.
shit.
Even though I can't give you any rational arguments for why I like it, I'm asking you to trust me on account of apparently my expertise with the game, that it is good and you should vote for it. Incidentally, I will be starting up a stream where I stream my Alone in the Dark speedruns. I already have a setup on OBS for it.
Let's
I'd
go.
also like to add to the story when Mick started streaming this game. It opened with, "Please come watch me suffer."
What a
It doesn't sound like suffering to me.
oh
No,
my god.
it was because I said to him even in the
It's so
recording.
much
Mick,
fun.
what do
It's
you
so
like
much fun.
about this game? And he goes, "I don't know."
It's a great time. I can't
Wow.
tell you why. Every single moment of it
Wow.
sounds like a nightmare, but it's a lot of fun.
And when he was emptying the inventory, because as he said, this game just lets you pick up everything, so it's a terrible point and click game. And like he had no weapons, and I'm like, "Oh, Mick, you don't have any weapons." I know I have all this ammo for a gun, but I don't have a gun. So he keeps emptying his stuff. He's like, "Ah, this shoebox. What the fuck's the deal with this shoebox?" He opens up the shoebox and there's just a gun in it.
Yeah, no, that's the other thing. It wasn't labeled shoebox. It said box of shoes, and I'm like, all right, I'll hang on to this for the shoe puzzle that'll inevitably come up. Oh, incidentally, there are things in this game I don't know what puzzles they solve. They're just objects in the room.
Oh man.
Next you're gonna say they made a model for a literal red herring. It's crazy.
That would be a joke if that
I-
wasn't in that wasn't in the first Monkey Island game.
That is true.
Yeah,
that's true.
I was thinking it too.
I genuinely don't know what to say.
What a fucking round,
Uh,
huh?
So for those of you who I mentioned that I had a surprise for this Yearlies, yeah, it was because I got a
You have a
speedrunner for a
fucking
game now.
speedrunning record.
That's crazy, dude. Congrats.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't know what place he was on the board, but I did give him the page so he could see the leaderboards. And he's like, "Yeah, you know what?
I already looked it
Looking
up.
before-
I'd already looked it up before that though. When I told you, I
Yeah,
was
but
gonna
like you
speedrun
said, like it was your goal before the Yearlies to make it into the top. What was it? Top 30?
I said top 10, but I said I was fairly confident I could hit top 5.
Okay.
And then there you are.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I can
Okay,
fact check that everything
so-
he said was honest. So he was honest as well.
Wow.
It'd be weird if I lied. It'd be
Yeah.
weird if
No, I
any of
mean,
that
it's-
was. It'd be
No,
weird
I
if
mean,
I
that's
just.
the thing. I
It'd be
was
weird if the
waiting
game
for-
was like super fun and I was just randomly making up shit about it.
That's what I'm saying. If you were turning this into like how all these bad things make the game good, that's when I was going to step in and be like, "No, Mick, you're not allowed to do that."
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I was saying like this should be on paper. This should be a nightmare. But for some reason, I had a great time with all of it.
This really is the Yearlies of honesty.
Yeah.
Which
It
is so funny
really
because we
is.
started out by gaslighting everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am
No, we
going to
didn't.
usher you guys to the vote because we're
Yes, of
still very
course.
much in the wake of it, but I'm still kind of in awe.
Yeah.
Graham, you're up first.
Hold on.
I knew it. I fucking
look
knew
at my
it.
camera.
I fucking knew he was gonna do
Oh.
this.
1 second. I'm voting for Alone in the Dark.
It's still bright in your room.
Oh, it's to my keyboard probably.
No,
Well,
it's
your
because
green
your
screen.
It's
background.
because your background's
right,
still
yeah.
there.
God.
Oh, and incidentally, Jordan, if you need footage for this episode,
Yeah, Taylor.
Listen, I had a whole thing, but like, it was only if Mick wasn't honest. I can save it for later. Here's how I've decided how I'm gonna vote. Christian, Mick, which one of you likes your own entry more?
Mick likes Alone in the Dark way more. Like, so much more. It's not even
Fine.
funny.
Fine, then I'll vote for Alone in the Dark.
like it started out,
Yeah.
I was putting Alone in the Dark here because, haha, it's but I genuinely love this game, man. I don't know why. I don't know what happened to me.
I
Alright, but-
have a couple of ideas why. I'll go over why later.
Okay.
That would mean Christian is next.
I've tried to formulate a couple of possibilities as to why that is the case, Mick. And at least in the context of this round, the first thing that comes to my mind is that despite all of the fucking stupid bullshit that Alone in the Dark seems to throw at you, this seems like the kind of game that really just gives you some great memories. Like, you barely forget the shit that this game does to you because it crosses the line more than twice, like eight times back and forth with all the fucking crazy shit. And I think in a way it's those memories that make Alone in the Dark feel special. And despite the fact that I have not played that, and I have played The Town with No Name, I am far more intrigued by Alone
I'll
in the
show
Dark.
you guys the.
I'm gonna latch on to Mick's memories.
I am.
Listen,
far
I can show
more
you. I'll show you the
interested.
game at some point. You can join me for one of my streams, which I'm planning on doing, so you can see me play. I might even do one
Holy
where I just
shit.
don't speedrun and I just play through it, so people can see what the game
Yeah,
is like.
no, my thing is, a couple days before this Yearlies, we were talking about Alone in the Dark, and there was this one GIF that was sent where it was that hallway that you were talking about, Mick, and I couldn't stop laughing because when you fall through the platform, it just says "Game Over" instant. No, it says "The End" instantly.
Yeah, it's you fall when you walk through that hallway and you just fall in. It's instant. It cuts.
This
to
is
the
if you do
end.
not make a save every 5 seconds in this game, like you think Sierra games are bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm voting
But
for Alone
then
in the
again,
Dark.
to be fair though, Sierra's not. Sierra has no pretenses that it's a horror game.
I am voting for Alone in the Dark.
I figured you would. Mick, what are you voting for?
No, it's Alone in the Dark. Like, if
And
I could go back,
Clank?
I would have made this my number one.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to give it to Alone in the Dark.
And like that's the thing, the town
look,
with no name is
We're
like,
doing the 5. Yeah, and the
if-
town with the no name also sucks.
but it's like both of these games are like endearing in their suckiness.
Like
But
let's not be astonished by this 5-0. It's
That's it. And here's the thing: like, if it was almost any other bracket, if it was almost any other like round, I think I would have voted for the town with no name. It's
Yeah. These two
Well-
would have gotten a 5-go against one another, like, at any point.
so we'll have to see how the town with no name does then. But Alone in the Dark's got a good future, I'd say.
Well, if you want a far more predictable 5-0, I've got
Oh
one right here.
no!
don't
Not
count
a
yourself
5-0.
out, Jordan.
dude, Mick's here. All
Well-
right, calm down.
I know, but you see, like, I know how this goes. You all know how this goes.
You know, we need a jingle
so-
for Jordan laments his own wild card.
Listen, Jordan, this is
So,
not what this,
to-
this Legend of Zelda game. There's no farming
Choose
simulator
your
section
words
in it.
carefully.
There's no farming simulator section in it, so it's not one of mine. It's not one of my
But
favorites.
I know that this crowd really enjoys Zelda, so to
Oh,
Do we?
my
Okay,
but
wild
Jordan-
card pick, X-Men the arcade game, might I say, welcome to Die.
To Die.
I was going to say. I was
Legend
going
of
to
Zelda: A Link to the Past, which both Taylor and Clanky put up.
X-Men, welcome
Can
to
I-
Die.
Can I try? Can I try to convince people that A Link to the Past is good?
It's a great game. I mean, I really
No,
love
you're
it.
not going to need to do that much convincing. It's a good game, but if you'd like to go
I don't
first,
believe
or
you,
if
Jordan.
If you guys want to go first.
I don't believe this is going to go well at all.
Can I tell a quick story? So, I have a lot. So I have a lot of very fond memories of X-Men Arcade because it was one of the games in.
Yeah.
When I used to go, I used to go on ski trips a bunch when I was a kid, with my family and some family friends. And the ski resort we always went to, there was one room that was like they had like a small arcade room. One of the games was Simpsons Arcade, and so but
Yeah, but that was on the last bracket.
Sorry, are you stealing my story?
what? No, this
Stealing
is
my story?
first off, we weren't in fucking Martha's Vineyard. We were in Mount Snow in Vermont. Okay, so put that in your pipe and smoke it.
It wasn't the vineyard. It was the Ancient Mariner. Remember?
That's right.
Good about it.
I could have sworn that
There was a Simpsons arcade cabinet in Martha's Vineyard that I did play at, but that story was at the Ancient Mariner.
Sorry, in my head, the Ancient Mariner was in Martha's Vineyard.
No, it's in Richfield, Connecticut.
Oh.
Okay, it's Connecticut. I'm close.
Yeah.
You're not.
No.
On a universal scale.
I mean, sure, on a map, I guess.
Anyway, the point. Where was I? Hercules. No.
Australia.
Gentlemen, if you need me, I'll be in Australia. Point being, I have a lot of fond memories, and so when I inevitably vote for X-Men Arcade, it's not because I don't like Zelda.
Right. No, I put X-Men Arcade on here because, like Simpsons Arcade, it is one of those arcade games that you can find just about anywhere that you could hop on and play and have a good time, just doing beat 'em up bad guy stuff. It's been ages since I played this one. I think that they give you a choice about which X-Men you want to play. I could do Wolverine or whatever, but they give you like Rogue and some of the other ones because it's steeped in the 90s, not only animated. It's steeped not only in the 90s animated series sort of designs, but also in the Jim Lee comic book designs of all these characters, where they look cool.
I always played Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler's my favorite character to play as.
Oh yeah, Nightcrawler's awesome. I love that. But yeah, it's fairly simple. You fight all these Magneto-led bad guys, and then you get further and further, and then you eventually fight Magneto, and it's your standard arcade sort of thing.
Jordan did not know when he put this on that Welcome to Die was a bit, so I had to explain to him.
It has been a while. I blocked it out, but yeah, no, it's cheesy and fun in all your old arcade game ways. It's again, I don't have a lot to say about it because it's just a pretty effective arcade game. I mean, if you got like a couple of quarters to spin at the.
Well, one thing I will say about it is there were a couple of cabinets of it that actually accommodated for all 6 X-Men. So you could do a 6-player experience, which is a pretty rare thing. And
It is actually really cool.
from a structural standpoint, I think that's pretty neat.
My only interaction with the X-Men arcade cabinet is Christian, do you remember the old Let's Play they did of the X-Men arcade?
No, I don't remember this, but I can imagine.
Achievement Hunter.
She said they like you know it.
Well, because
me
Let's
and
Play
Graham
is a
knew it.
channel. Yeah. All I remember is like Ray just like always she's like, yeah, I'm dazzling.
Now I kinda wish I saw it.
Friggin' Dazzler. Also, I'm pretty sure they had a minute of this in the Stewed. So like,
Oh shit.
but
And we had a Mortal Kombat cabinet too.
That means all of us except for Clanky have no excuse. We should have all played it.
Yeah, I've never played this game.
Yeah, it was only at the Stewed. It was only released there and nowhere else.
Oh damn.
yeah, we had Polybius in the X-Men game, and that's it. But
So is this a beat 'em up? Is that what this game is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm back.
It's the Simpsons arcade of X-Men.
All right. Understood.
Yeah,
Loud and clear.
exactly. And it's just a fun time.
Yeah.
You know, I like it. It's a perfectly fun game.
I remember I made friends playing it. Like other kids who were also, you know, on vacation. We're in the arcade, and it's like seemed like me and my brother were playing, and then like two other kids started playing with us. Like, yeah, we made friends. We only knew them for that day, but you know, they were arcade friends.
Well, that's what it was back then. You know, if you were a bowling alley and you ran into other people playing this game, you know, that was it. This was before, you know, the internet, where you just like, all right, you're there, I'm there, what the hell? You know.
Well, it was like 2002, but you know, same thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know what
For
I mean.
all intents and purposes, the internet was not there.
Yeah, exactly. It was primitive. So yeah,
but
no, it's a perfectly fine.
Sorry, you just reminded me. This is I'm gonna call out Sega. Release the Jurassic Park shooters. Light guns.
Yeah.
Again, Graham's boss brings him in. So Graham, I noticed that you've been yelling at Sega a lot, and Sega actually is part of offers a lot of games, and they are now threatening to pull out.
How dare you? I'll tell you, Graham.
I
is
love
not
it.
threatening
We
to
were-
pull out.
I know. It's against my religion.
So,
So yeah, the game that's gonna win.
Zorldo.
hot take, if I may.
Go.
A Link to the Past is the first good Zelda game.
I think I agree.
Mhm.
I think that this game is a very good baseline for Zelda. You know, this
Yes.
is like, I say that this is a bog standard Zelda game, but it just shows how good bog standard Zelda can be.
Well, this was my first Zelda game. I played it on.
You guys have very high opinions of bogs.
True.
I'm pretty neutral to bogs, if I'm being honest. I just
I'm more
feel
of a
like,
marsh guy, a fenland.
I just remember I was just in a friend's room. I was sitting on the floor, and he just tossed me a cartridge of Zelda, and was like, "Yeah, Zelda." And I turned it on.
Entire wetland in here. Sir, I'll stop with my bog jokes.
Yes, what a genre.
No, I love him.
You're gonna want to space them out. Anyways, yeah. So, A Link to the Past. You know, despite the fact that it's improvement from the first two Zeldas, it was just also the baseline I had for Zelda in general, and like for top-down Zelda, it's really tough to beat. I mean, this game has fucking 13 dungeons, which I think is the most dungeons any Zelda game has.
And most of them are good.
Yeah, I mean, like a couple of them blend together, maybe, but that doesn't mean that like any of them are inherently bad. The puzzle solving, enemy clearing, key finding, the formula that top-down Zelda has done great for so many years is just in full effect here, and it works. And it's just like it's just a full-length video game, you know, which it doesn't sound like a diverse thing, but back then that's like you got your value from this.
Yeah.
There's also just like so many items. Like because every dungeon has a dungeon item, so like you pull up the screen and they have this grid that you keep filling out and finding the slots where your items are going to go, and like even like you'll even find extra ones by just like interacting with the world. Like, oh, I'm going to throw a bomb into this bog.
Yeah.
You actually throw a bomb into like a swamp, and the guy gives you a medallion for creating earthquakes just to go away.
Bog fans in shambles.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. One of the things I love about this Hyrule, this specific world, is just how mysterious it is. Like, it genuinely, through its melding of sound effects and world design, this is such an interesting and mysterious Zelda game. Like, the first time you transition into the Dark World and the game goes, and you turn into a bunny, and you're like, holy shit, why am I a bunny? This is so weird. And then, my favorite weird thing this game does is go into the desert, and there's this man who is sitting by himself next to a cave with a sign, and the sign says, "I want to be left alone. Please leave me alone. Please leave this sign alone." And you pick up the sign, and he stalks you. And you throw the sign and goes, "Why did you take my sign? I just wanted to be left alone." And you'd think that would be the end of it, but this character has a backstory where it turns out he used to be part of a thief club, and you get him to open up a chest from a mysterious dark world and get an empty bottle. And there's just so much going on in just this one instance of taking a man's sign. The caves are super mysterious. There's this kid who plays the flute, and as you get close to him, he just disappears. It's just so surreal playing this for the first time. And I mean, like, look, maybe the game needed another button for its item slots. There's a lot of menu hopping, and I don't know, maybe the story isn't as good as other Zelda games, but if you're looking for like kind of one of the ultimate dungeon crawling Zelda experiences, this is a tough one to beat. You got anything else, Clanky?
Well, not really. I really do like I mean, most of the boss fights are pretty fun, but I do hate one of them where you get like constantly bounced off into the abyss and you have to constantly back up. Like, it definitely has its hang-ups. Like, it definitely shows its age at points.
Yeah. I think that boss was designed around the idea that instead of dying, there are consequences like a Wario Land 3 thing where you just have to start over. And the music's pretty iconic too.
That was one thing I was thinking. Is there are a couple songs in this game that I really like. Mainly Dark Mountain? What the fuck? You know the one.
Mountain.
That's something like that. Yeah, that one's good. I like that one a lot.
And Kakariko Village, and yeah, there's just a very mysterious ambiance to it all. It's not gonna win.
I also like how in Kakariko Village there's that one NPC who like is terrified of you because he like saw like your wanted poster or whatever, and if you end up talking to them, they call guards and you have to like deal with them.
Yeah,
that's such a fucking Wind Waker thing to do.
And there's this cowboy who is also watching you in town, and every time you get close to him, he dashes away, so you have to use dash boots to chase him down. And there's a witch.
You find him, he says you go to sarsaparilla.
A witch in a bog? It just makes too much sense.
It's my witch in a bog.
I think we have to vote
I'm just
now.
amusing myself at this point. Yeah, sorry. I'm ruining all of this with my terrible jokes.
That was the only bad one. Don't worry, all of your other jokes have been funny.
Oh, I would not go that far. Okay, starting.
Most of his jokes have been funny. Nowhere near as funny as Graham's hope joke,
exactly.
but we'll get to that in a moment.
Exactly. No, that was a good one. We'll get to that in about 30 seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No. It was an exaggeration, Graham.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am sure.
With Graham, can you ever be sure?
If there's one of us who would be sure,
it'd be Graham.
Am I going first for voting? Is that what's happening?
Yes, you are.
All right.
Yes.
Jordan, turn on your camera for a bit.
This is what Graham usually does before he's about to completely destroy someone on stream.
Because I want to look you in the eye as I vote for A Link to the Past.
What's
wow.
wrong with you?
That's really dark.
The 90s have turned Graham into a sadist.
Can I just point out that every single person has been honest with their entries except Graham?
What has he lied? Hang on.
No, just in terms of like this game is not all that great.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
Have I ever?
All right.
Have I ever said that these games were great?
Who's
next?
Right.
Taylor.
Voting for Zelda.
Yeah.
Christian.
Honestly, Graham, ever since the 90s started, you've become a vector of suffering. Like every single decision you've made has been motivated by hurting the rest of us. And it is really funny. I'll give you that. If you're trying to be funny, you're succeeding.
It is actually really
like by a long shot. Unfortunately.
I'd like to just mention on camera that while we were debating the entries for 92, Graham decided to put his entries for 98 up.
Oh, misery is my favorite fiddle.
This is going to be a great decade.
So now when we put the entries for 98, we have to go fucking copy and paste his entries, and it's just the whole fucking neat fucking aesthetic.
We gotta scroll up. No. That's how we gotta do it.
No.
Yeah.
Not indulging this.
Anyway,
Christian,
Jordan,
I hope you're voting for Link to the Past.
I hope all my votes for the Simpsons arcade can make up for the fact that I'm not voting for X-Men right now. I'm sorry, I'm voting for Link to the Past.
It's okay. Hey, I did it to please myf. Yeah.
I'm just not a huge X-Men guy. It's the only reason.
It's all good. It's all good.
Well, I mean, look, it's an easy. It's a Zelda game where I don't get to immerse myself in the life of a farmer, and it's
well,
next
hang hang on. I take umbrage with that because you can attack chickens and they will attack you back.
Yeah, that's not really. But
now he's gonna.
Well, I've
I've
been to a farm, Mick. So who do you think is right?
Listen, Taylor, it's nice that you tried, all right, but but also on the other hand, X-Men's got some great nostalgic memories for me, and also it lets me play as a teleporting Bavarian Catholic. All right, so I'm going for that one.
I can't say that, Zelda. I can't.
Teleporting Bavarian Catholic also had a really good culture shock.
Yeah.
And finally, Clanky.
I'm voting for Zelda.
Yeah.
I think you know what I think happens is I see Zelda and I'm like, Nick hates Zelda, therefore this whole bracket hates Zelda. That's what's starting to happen. It's Mick's hatred is like seeping into my mind that like it spreads to other people. Like Mick hates Zelda, so Graham hates Zelda, and Christian hates Zelda.
No,
That's the thing. I don't really feel like I hate Zelda.
I definitely don't hate it.
It's a very popular franchise.
In fact, I might put up a Zelda game in a future year.
That came out later.
And
And
in round 8, we have Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, which is a Graham pick, versus a late challenger, Mario S. Paint, submitted by Clanky.
Jordan, I want
What's
you to
the
know.
S stand for?
What?
You mean to tell me that the M in MS Paint doesn't stand for Mario?
I
Jordan,
just figured you'd like an opportunity to do that joke on camera.
So
Thank you.
is the full name of this game Mario Soft Paint?
I sure hope not.
As opposed to Mario's Hard Paint.
Yes.
I like to imagine it's Mario's paint. Like this is his paint.
So can I say there's a joke I've
Mario's
made a few times, and I want to explain this joke because I think it was genuinely one of the funniest things Graham has ever done in his life.
By the way, when the pitches actually start, Graham,
Like,
you can go first.
This was a perfect setup and a perfect punchline. Like it was perfectly done. So Jordan enters the thing and he writes it down as Mario S. Paint on the bracket.
Oh,
all right.
right, this thing.
Yeah. If I set a trap, I'm like, I want people to see it.
Oh my
Yeah.
fucking
All right, so he puts down Mario S. Paint, and Taylor immediately goes, "What does the S stand for?" To which Graham, not
And I'm
missing
like,
a beat,
great.
references Man of Steel and just says hope. All right. The joke
And I
being
thought
is
that
that
was genius,
for those who don't
actually.
know, there's the line in Man of Steel where Superman's he's
Lois
asked about
Lane
the S on his
asks what the
chest,
S stands for.
and he says, "On my planet, it's not an S; it means hope."
Yeah.
And so.
It
Which
took
is
me
a
a
dumb
while.
joke.
It took me
This is
a
the thing.
long time.
Everyone ignored it. I was cracking up. Everyone else ignored it. And Graham fucking replies to his own comment with an image of fucking Joker on stage with his little book of jokes with no one laughing at him.
It's
God.
that is also one of my favorite like images like to post. Like that is either that posting that or saying you ever make the room quieter.
These are some of the loudest images I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
I was like really sick yesterday, and I was looking through. This was yesterday, I believe, right? Was this yesterday? I've been losing track of time.
Where I asked to put Mario Paint up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Okay, that was yesterday, and I remember I was dying, like laughing and coughing while I was reading that fucking joke. So thank you, Graham, for being
Well,
the light of my life.
Thank you,
I
Graham.
don't think I've ever seen a Superman movie, so that's why I didn't say anything.
Well, it was in Justice League, so that wasn't
Yeah.
even a Superman movie.
It was it was from Man of
Anyway.
Steel.
Oh
Uh,
wait, I saw that.
Oh,
With
that's
both.
right. Yeah,
It was in both.
yeah.
Saw
Oh,
that
another movie you went
with-
to see with Graham without me. Okay, I.
Shazam, Man of Steel.
I have played. I want to say 3/4 of this.
Graham, I've beaten the game. I can back you up.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, before you guys go into it, I do just want to point out this game was on my video game backlog until like a few weeks ago because I love LucasArts point and click games. So even though I'm not a big Indiana Jones fan, I really do want to play this. But then I stopped and realized, wait, am I really going to play this without knowing a single thing about Indiana Jones? I should probably, I should probably take a step back and like watch the movies first.
So,
Yeah.
Which is just to say, like, just be mindful of what you talk about.
Let's let Graham take it from here. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Every Indiana Jones movie can pretty much be watched on its own. Like, it's more of like an anthology of stories, like starring
kind of a James
Indiana
Bond
Jones.
way.
Yeah, it's a James Bond way where like they're for the most part very self-contained.
They will wink and nod at each other.
Yeah.
But they'll
And
never.
that's kind of what I was thinking the game would do, is like make a bunch of winks and nods to the movies.
Not as many as you think.
Yeah.
Although you will, there's at least one character that you won't really see at the point of him because you only like one scene. That being Marcus Brody.
Oh yeah, never mind.
He won't make he will make no impact on you in the game, but yeah.
But yeah, this was one of like the first like modern, like I say modern, but like unless you're counting like the Freddy Fish games, which I know Taylor might. This was like one of like the first point and click games that I ever like really sat down and played. Because I loved Indiana Jones growing up, and like this is like LucasArts, I believe, started making point and click adventures with Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, like an adaptation of that. And that did so well, they were like, well, let's just make our own original Indiana Jones adventure, and that's Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. Again, it's like one of those things where I can't really like...
Would you like to let me tag in, Graham?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, second.
Yeah, so it is... Yeah, so the plot of this is... the plot of this, it surrounds Indiana Jones hunting for the sunken city of Atlantis. The plot is that basically there is there's a group of Nazis who a team of like the stereotypical evil scientist and the stereotypical military officer Nazi, who's like really tall, tall, strong with like blonde hair, and then the hunched over scientist. They're very by the numbers villains. But it's a game. Give it a break. In this quest, Indy has a partner in it. The sort of love interest companion is a woman named Sophia Hapgood, who is a former assistant to Indy, who left archaeology to become a psychic.
Mm-hmm.
What's cool again? Yeah. Incidentally, one thing I love about it, she's a redhead. All right, which completes the trifecta of Indiana Jones' love interest's hair colors. He's never had a redhead in any of the movies.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would not possibly know that. So
Interesting.
Yeah, the writing is very on point. Like, Graham, wouldn't you agree? Like, it does feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
LucasArts has a lot of wit, so I would hope that that's still there.
My thing is that it feels on point. Like, it feels like it could be an Indiana Jones script, especially the witty banter between him and Sophia.
It has like that pulpy, like the pulpy vibe that the movies were going for is very well described. Like,
good.
Like you recruit Sophia, she's doing a seance in front of like an audience.
Yeah.
And how are the puzzles like from a sense of difficulty?
So,
like, are they intuitive? Are they really bullshit?
I will say, until you get to the last section of the game, they are pretty intuitive. The biggest challenge for most of these puzzles will be figuring out which verbs it actually wants you to use.
Right, this is one of those games where it's like...
Yeah, you don't just click on things, and sometimes there's like a very specific thing you need to click on. Like, it's not just the entire object, it's like a small part of it. You also have to sometimes think about the words, like, you can't use button, you have to push button, even though push is usually used for moving heavy objects. There's like weird things like that where it doesn't...
Oh, no, that was a thing of like I think I'm going to put a LucasArts... I made like maybe a LucasArts game next year that does something very similar to that.
The thing I will warn you about, if you are a fan of LucasArts point-and-click games, about this game, number one, it is nowhere near as goofy, comical as games are. It is a kind of a slight... Graham, would you agree it's a slightly sillier Indiana Jones story?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Like, there's some moments that are a little bit goofier, but for the most part, it's totally more close to the movies.
I mean,
than
Indiana
it is something
Jones
like...
is pretty silly in its own right.
That's the thing, but I mean, it's closer to
going to die!
So
The
what
thing
you're
is-
saying is that we
my
don't
point
get
is-
quite Monkey Island levels.
Yeah, that's my point. Is that it's not like Monkey Island or Day of the Tentacle levels of like this over the top goofiness. That said, you can try and lie to a Nazi and say, "I'm here selling these premium leather jackets."
Oh my god, they kept that running joke in.
Yeah, they kept the running
That's-
joke. Yeah.
That's funny because that's a Monkey Island.
Yeah, no, there are like that's the thing. There are some silly sort of funny moments, but for the most part, it's way more similar in tone to one of the Indiana Jones movies
Gotcha.
than it is to the other games. Also, and this is a big thing I gotta warn you about, Taylor. You can die. It has save. You do have to save and reload. You can die in this game.
You're kidding me.
I'm not. There's also a section midway through where you get to choose one of 3 paths, and so there's actually you kind of have to play through it 3 times to get all the different puzzles. You can choose one mode which is focused on hard puzzles, one which is focused on team puzzles with Sophia, and the other is focused on fighting. Don't do that one. The fighting sucks in this game.
Is it better or worse than Monkey Combat?
I don't know. I don't know what Monkey Combat is.
You didn't play that one.
May I?
Ooh, ah.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Jordan, I want you to
Wait,
know.
there's another game here.
Jordan, I want you to know that
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
exercising every single ounce of self-control to not be pedantic about the name on the bracket. Ooh, I am such a.
I'm
I am so name oriented, but you know what? Just this twice, Jordan. Just this
I can
twice.
change it back.
No,
if
no, no,
you
Jordan.
want
No,
me
no, no,
to.
Jordan. Just this twice. It is allowed because
I
it's
will,
very funny.
I will. I'll do
It
it
is
right.
very, very funny. It is the funniest
You
thing.
said just this twice, Jordan.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is the funniest thing I've ever darn
All
seen.
right, all right.
Well, is it time to talk about Mario Paint?
Yes. Well, I
Clanky
mean, I
just
guess
sounds like he woke up from a nap.
I guess Clanky, it would be between both of us.
10,000 years.
I did have
Listen.
I have a little bit of a rundown for Mario Paint if you want me to give a synopsis.
Yeah, if you want.
I'll be quick about it so you can hop in on your thoughts. Mario Paint, I was really prepared to go into this saying, I agree with you, Mick, it's not a video game, but Wikipedia apparently says it's a game. Mario Paint is a raster graphics editor, which is just an online drawing tool, an animation program, a music composer, and a point-and-click minigame all in one, with the main overarching goal of utilizing the Super NES mouse. And the only game in here is a fly swatting minigame. That's the only thing that be construed as a game. The rest
Which
of it is where
kinda
interesting
fun,
things come
actually.
in.
Fly Swatter's kind of neat.
The rest of it is where the interesting things come in. Clanky, I believe you had things you wanted to bring up with that.
Yeah. So there's 3. I believe there's 3 main modes, right? The mode where you paint, the mode where you create music, and I think there's like an animation tool with
Yes,
it too.
all 3 of those.
I think that the thing that I appreciate most about this game, and that's the thing, right, is that I don't really like this game so much as I appreciate it. It's very neat, you know. I think that actually I know that the first like Homestar Runner cartoon was made in Mario Paint.
I looked
Like,
that up
really?
today and I lost my fucking mind. I was like, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
Wow.
Homestar
That's,
Runner
yeah.
episode 1?
That's like
And-
the strong one, right? Or like the one, whatever.
It's literally like Homestar Runner like tap dancing around, and it's like Homestar Run, and it's just like a song like that.
Yeah, like Strongman
And,
doesn't
like,
have any
I-
lines.
like-
It's crazy.
Yeah, Homestar was the main character. But anyway,
I don't know.
like the thing that I really like about this game is like a game quote, is the composition tool,
Yep,
because it's just very no nonsense. It's like, here's some sheet music, you place notes on the sheet music, have fun composing, you motherfucker. And I just appreciate that because I understand it, even though I understand that it's probably very unintuitive for someone who doesn't know how to read sheet music.
I can speak as someone who did try to use it. However, I cannot speak as someone who can read sheet music because I can't. But I did try to use this. I tried to use the music composition tool to recreate Mining Melancholy from Donkey Kong Country 2. I made it 3 seconds, and then I stopped because it was too hard. But
Happens to the best of us.
the music composition tool is so cool. It's the whole reason I actually give a shit about Mario Paint. I don't really care that much about the animation and the painting. I love the music composition. You can do some crazy shit in this. So many fucking Toho songs, so many fucking nonsense meme shit songs that you can make. You can make any song. It's like MuseScore, but with silly fucking haha dog woof sound effects.
And the other like they still use a lot of these sound effects in like games like WarioWare today. It's like actually kind of crazy.
And Earthbound, funny enough, is actually
Yeah, you're right.
They use these sound effects in Earthbound. This game is referenced a lot. Like it's referenced a lot in future Mario games. You brought up WarioWare actually. It's really. Oh,
are you gonna mention the thing that I think you're gonna mention?
Let's see. Because I was gonna mention one of the lead developers for WarioWare DIY, Masahito Kayama. Apologies if I pronounced that incorrectly. One of the lead developers for WarioWare DIY and cites Mario Paint as the primary reference.
I believe it.
And
I believe it because just the way the tool systems are put into place just feels like I was just thinking about that game while thinking about Mario Paint.
Yeah, and another thing is that in WarioWare DIY, if you name your game Mario Paint and then go into the editor, the music changes to Mario Paint music.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
I didn't want Mick to vote for it anyway.
Mick wasn't voting for it. Let's be real. Like, let's be so serious with ourselves.
No, he's got
Yeah, but he wasn't voting for Mega Man 4 either. That's the thing. Like, if I had put Mega Man 4 here instead, would the outcome of this bracket change at all?
I would have been way more bitter, admittedly.
Man, Mario Paint is cute. It's a fun distraction, and that's what I can say about it.
Okay.
What I will say is the last thing before we go to the vote is that the thing that I think did like make me feel like, yeah, this is important enough to talk about is the idea that people are still paying reference to it like all the time. Like there's so many homages to like, hey, here are all these inspirational fan projects that we're doing very specifically through Mario Paint.
People still make songs with Mario Paint's
yeah,
composing.
like,
they still do it.
Like, Brown Floss, who I talk about all the time, like, he's shown off, like, some of his original... I think he just uploaded to his channel recently. Like, I found this old Mario Paint project I did way back when, and I just, like, got into finishing editing it, and, like, here's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And Wikipedia says it's a video game.
And it's darn respectable.
Can't argue with that.
Well, if the website that's created by community opinions says it, then...
Exactly, groupthink.
I have one minor thing to mention. A little fun fact about this game. This is for Christian Graham. Oh
my God,
Graham, you mentioned the thing about how they were like they made the after they did the what's going on Last Crusade game. They're like, hey, why don't we make our own? Their initial thought was, well, why don't we adapt one of the unused scripts for one of the Indiana Jones movies that was almost made? And so this was almost Indiana Jones and the Monkey King.
Holy shit! Imagine the monkeys attacking the Nazi tanks. It was almost real.
Are we ready to vote?
Yeah, Graham.
I
knew it.
Yeah, Indiana
Taylor.
That's a vote for Mario Paint.
Christian.
I really like Indiana Jones. I will extend this as far as I possibly can. But for the current moment, Mario Paint is my thing here.
I was just hoping you were going to continue the song.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Me too.
Me too.
Maybe I'll continue it the next time I vote.
Da 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 da.
I'm voting for Mario Paint.
Okay. Okay. On to losers round 1, where we have Dragon Quest IV versus The Simpsons. Bartman meets Radioactive Man. The voting order has shifted. It is now Taylor's turn first.
Like, we were both honest about how we feel about these games, but I would still like to believe, and I hope you don't, take umbrage with this statement. I'd like to believe Dragon Quest IV is still better.
You're probably 110% right.
Okay. So that's what I'm going to vote for. Thank you for letting me speak my truth.
Of course.
Yeah, that's what we do at the Yearlies. We say the truth.
No, we
Christian.
don't. Nothing we've ever said has ever been correct. Dragon Quest IV has slimes, and that's the only reason I'm voting for it.
Okay. Mick.
The Simpsons, Bartman versus Radioactive Man.
Clanky.
Dragon Quest.
Well,
I need to stress enough.
and
No one
Graham.
should be voting for The Simpsons. Bartman meets Radioactive Man.
This is Kid Chameleon all
I-
over again.
I am going to be voting for Dragon Quest 4.
It's never not funny.
All right. Dune 2, The Building of a Dynasty versus Mortal Kombat. Thank you. Taylor.
Again, if there was like a fighting game franchise that I would want to try to get into, I think it would probably be Mortal Kombat. I have my fun with occasional RTSs, but I'm not quite sure Dune 2 is going to be it for me. So I'll go with MK.
Christian.
I'm realizing with the 90s, there are so many franchises that I'm so excited to talk about, but not yet. Granted. You know what? I did just say that. I'm going to vote for Dune 2, actually. I changed my mind. I'm voting for Dune 2.
Okay.
Sorry, Mortal Kombat.
Gotcha.
You'll get your love soon.
Mick.
Dune 2.
Clanky.
Mortal Kombat.
And Graham.
I don't know what sound of what he's doing anymore.
For Dune.
Yeah, when the sandworm
It was
came
the
up from the
big
ground
Mortal
and started singing that, it was crazy.
Wait, was it Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
That is dead.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
it was the theme from Mortal
it's
Kombat.
after it goes dun 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 dun. It goes.
Well, yeah. So why? Well, then why did you start with the second part when no one had done the first?
I done the first.
Oh, had you?
He did the first
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah,
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
it's
I
called
knew it was
continuity, Taylor.
All right.
I was still focused on when you went to the Indiana Jones theme.
Yeah, God, I gotta remember where you guys left off on the Indiana Jones theme if I vote
I can
for
only
it.
I can only keep track of one thread of song at a time.
If you use the wrong verse of the song, you are instantly atomized. It's over.
If you
Right.
get the wrong verse, you'll just be a vote for the other thing.
I am terrified.
Holy shit.
Is this round?
This-
Super Mario Land 2 versus Sound with No Name?
Guys, and by guys I mean Clanky and Graham, be reasonable. Because I already
Mick, you
know
can
that
be
Mick and Christian,
unreasonable as you want.
Mick and Christian aren't doing shit for this game.
Come back, Shane.
My name's not Shane.
See, Mick's doing it with a smile.
It's true. I have the biggest
We
grin.
start... Taylor, I assume you're voting for Super Mario Land 2.
I'm voting for Super Mario Land 2. Yes, that's correct. I'm voting for Mario 6
Yeah.
Land 2, the 6 golden anuses.
Okay, in that case. Christian.
I forgot to mention when you go into the church, if you choose to rest in peace for a moment, the priest will come up to you, mumble something incoherently, and then fly into the sky. And you can repeat this infinitely. An infinite number of priests to fly into an infinite number of skies.
also,
Evangelicals,
when you-
am I right?
When you die, the Undertaker comes to take your body away, and he moves comically fast. This cutscene goes by.
That's
But
also
is
when...
he as funny as the Undertaker from Mad Dog McRae?
I'd say funnier.
Another.
Let's
That's
dance,
the Undertaker, but yeah,
amigo!
that's great. And you missed that one. China.
Watch out for the one on the ground.
It's also really funny because whenever you die in this game, it's another example of the music so loud it actually starts to hurt your ears. Like it's actual pianist dying on the organ core music. I am going to be voting for the town with no name.
I figured. Mick.
I am voting for the town with no name.
Clanky.
I'm gonna be real. I don't know why I voted for Kid Chameleon over Super Mario Land.
We gave you like
I know,
30
minute.
seconds to change the vote.
and when I really think about it, I really don't understand why I did that. I'll be honest. So I guess I have to come back for it and vote for Mario Land.
Which means it's down to Graham.
Taylor.
I'm not looking you in the eye, Graham.
Oh,
okay,
fucking
so
imagine.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Me and Graham have both turned into the villains of the Yearlies, but we're very different types of villains.
No, Graham's not a villain. Graham's just the wild card.
No, that's the thing. Graham is the villain the way the Joker is the villain, where I'm more of a kingpin type figure, where I just want victory. Graham seems to relish the actual
Graham
killing.
is Cyrus the Virus from Con Air.
Graham, are you actually voting for the town with no name?
Taylor, I promise you, with 100% certainty, I enjoy Town with No Name more than Super Mario Brothers 6 Golden Coins.
Well, Clanky, this is your fault.
Well, that's all right. At least it's not like a super good Mario game.
You know what? I suspect it.
Can I ask a serious question?
Yes.
Why are bad Western games doing so good in the 90s?
Let's dance, amigo!
Hedgehog 3 is great.
At the end of the day, what matters most is the joy you get from something, whether that's either intentional, unintentional, or some weird mix of the two. Like
the final round of 92 is back to Alone in the Dark versus the town with no name. Then
holy shit, no way. I don't think. We'll see. Let's just let it play out.
Let's first. I have no vested interest in this one. I'm putting it up to Jesus. Y'all have fun. X-Men Arcade versus Mario Paint. You guys do whatever the hell
aren't
you
you
want.
Jewish?
Taylor.
He's not even,
Yes.
I don't even think he's really that.
I'm undrafted.
He's a free agent this season.
Yeah, I'm an undrafted corner. The joke is that NFL draft is going on right now.
Well, the
Taylor,
Yearlies is
you're
going
up
on.
first.
That's the most important draft.
Well, I hope they finish the draft and get to exporting it soon.
Fucking knew it.
I was wondering where he was gonna go with that.
I heard the incantation in your voice, and I just knew something silly was approaching.
For some fun background references, Jordan is referring to the Nickelodeon Showlies that should be going up now, but is not.
I can't believe I'm a better
YouTube doesn't
Joker than Joaquin Phoenix.
Where did that come from?
You so are.
No,
Graham is the people's Joker.
We can't play that. I am done talking about that movie in front of Jordan. Welcome to Die.
All right. Christian.
You can probably compose the X-Men theme song in Mario Paint.
Yeah, but it won't sound as good as the actual X-Men theme.
Do you know that for sure?
No, because I don't know what the X-Men theme sounds
Then
like.
shut your mouth. You don't know.
You could play me the Mario Paint X-Men theme and tell me it's the X-Men theme, and I would believe you.
Actually, I think Graham's version of the X-Men theme is better than both of those, actually.
Yes, actually. Mick.
Verstehen? I'm voting for X-Men Arcade.
What did you say before that?
Verstehen. It means understood in German, because my main was Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
These are the jokes, people. These are the jokes.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be hell awake.
Yeah, the jokes. Yeah, we're good.
Remember, we got silent. Hope.
What are we doing? Where are we? What time is it?
It's 11:63.
Well, only one of these games has Dazzler in it.
Are you sure? Because I think we just established that Mario has paint.
You can draw Dazzler in Mario.
Yeah, but I have to put effort in to get Dazzler Mario Paint.
I need my Dazzler now.
Graham, if I draw Dazzler for you, will you vote for Mario Paint?
No.
Please.
No.
Okay.
It'll be funny.
I mean, sure, Christian. If you draw Dazzler, I'll vote for Mario S Paint.
Okay, sounds good.
Draw.
Now vote for it now, and I'll make sure it gets to you.
Whose vote is it?
I'm voting for X-Men Arcade.
Well, Clanky, now it's yours. It's 3-1 X-Men Arcade.
Well, drat. I'm voting for Mario Paint.
We tried, Clanky. We did try.
I'm sorry. Wolfenstein 3D versus Kirby's Dream Land. The voting order has shifted. It is now Christian's
Fucking
turn.
blue hallways, man.
Perfect for a reset.
Wolfenstein
As
3D has color, so that's a point in its favor.
I mean, yeah,
There's
that
no
is
blue
true.
in Kirby's Dream Land.
But that leaves me questioning why Wolfenstein 3D is blue. I don't have to worry about that with Kirby's Dream Land. Thus, I am not left with unanswered questions. I'm voting for Kirby's Dream Land, and I must say,
Yeah, there are no surprises.
I had no plans to put Kirby's Dream Land on this bracket, but now that it is here, I am oddly defensive of it.
Yes. Mick.
Wolfenstein 3D.
Clanky.
I'll give it to Kirby.
It's Graham's vote.
Oh, I voted for Wolfenstein. Whose vote is it anyway?
And it's tied up for...
The years are made up, and the games don't matter.
Listen, guys, if we really want to get Masahiro Sakurai on the show, we need to get a sign of faith and vote for his games.
I agree.
But this
So
one
I'm-
only?
No, I think he'd respect us more if we didn't vote for his games.
Yeah, because we're not sucking up to him.
Yeah.
I
got
don't
a
see
point.
him talk. Listen, I've watched almost all of the videos on his channel, and he talks about Kirby's Dream Land way more than Wolfenstein 3D. So
Exactly. Why would he want to talk about it more?
How do you
Doesn't
think
wanna-
Sakurai feels about the blue? How do you think he thinks of it?
I don't know. I haven't gotten that far in the video. Vote for Kirby's Dream Land.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
All right.
It's a good day.
Contra 3. The Alien Wars versus Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Christian.
How about we make Christian Happy Day, and we vote for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, so that all of Christian's cherished games make it further.
Didn't you say that about
That's an
Sonic
interesting
1?
idea.
Well, yeah, look how that turned out. I hate you all, by the way.
Nick.
I'm voting for Sonic 2.
Clank.
2 Tuesday.
Contra 3.
For me, it was 2-2 Tuesday.
Yeah.
Graham.
Christian?
No.
Iron helps us play.
Hello, Joe.
Turn on your camera, Christian.
Maybe, Graham, maybe you should subvert the audience and start that bit, but then vote for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 as a way to, spice things up a little bit, you know? Or are you too much of a coward?
I mean, that would be a good suggestion, Christian.
Are you a chicken? You're a chicken? Coward?
Oh God! I cannot believe it took 22 yearly to do it. Are you a chicken?
Man.
Well, Graham, how about it?
Can we do? We have to
You
do.
play-
We have to do the Arrested Development thing where we don't actually chant like chickens at all.
You play a dangerous game, Christian Martinez.
Tweedledee.
Kukukacha!
Come back to me.
I actually can't believe I made him deliberate. This is a victory.
Taylor.
There. So we probably have 100 hours of Yearlies content on the channel now. First, are you a
I can't believe it. Maturity won the day until now.
You have to have said about a chicken bit since.
It's the epitome of baby jokes, and we were never above it. It just never crossed our mind.
Mask off. This is the Yearlies of honesty.
What are you,
Tweedledee.
chicken?
Oh, God, no.
Christian.
Somebody vote.
Christian,
I'm not banking on your vote, Taylor. Do whatever you want.
I'm voting for Sonic 2.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong.
It's 3-1. We're back to you, Graham.
Well, Christian, I'm glad I at least gave you some degree of false hope that I would vote for Sonic 2. I'm voting for Contra 3.
All right. Well, I guess that's something a chicken would say, I suppose.
Holy shit.
Thanks, one to know one.
Oh my god.
I'll be a chicken with you, Graham.
All right.
I need to think of a way to insert other baby disses into these now.
I know you are, but what am I?
You took it. You took
Infinity. Kid Chameleon versus Alone in the Dark.
Two titans.
I will say.
I have a question. Is my vote before Mix?
No, you're the last vote in this order.
No.
And I vote before Mix?
I can hold off my vote if you really want, Taylor.
I mean,
Just.
anyone
I just feel
objecting
like
to Taylor voting first?
It doesn't work if Mick votes before.
I'll let you go. I'll let you go before me.
Okay, I guess that means Mick, you would go last in that case.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll do that. I'll hold my vote.
I think if there's one thing interesting about
Alright.
this round, based
Chris.
off of Taylor, based off of what you asked last round, I think this is the round where me and Mick love our games equally. And I will anticipate voting for Alone in the Dark more throughout this bracket, but for now, it is going to be Kid Chameleon because I fucking nostalgia baby love this game. Oh my god.
Okay. We're skipping Mick, so Clanky.
I'm voting for Alone in the Dark.
Like, you have to vote for Kid Chameleon after what you've done. Are you kidding me?
you love this game.
Don't belittle the man. Let him vote how he
It's your
wants.
favorite game. 103 levels? Holy shit.
I do love Kid Chameleon.
Alone in the Dark has no loading screens, which
Oh,
is
that
honestly
hurts it all.
kind of impressive.
Sorry, I was trying
Graham.
to think of a thing for Kid Chameleon, but I
Oh
can't
yeah,
think
that's
of
right.
any.
I just realized I wanted to say something because Taylor, you asked this at the end of my Alone in the Dark pitch. I didn't get a chance to explain it. You asked about is he actually called the Reptile? So the two version of him is Clown Woman and the Reptile. She is. I call her Clown Woman because when you load up her they don't have a lot of polygons to work with, and so making her look like she wears makeup makes her look like she's a clown. The woman's name, her actual name is Emily. Meanwhile, when you look up the male character, his name is Edward. When he introduces himself, he says, "Name's Edward Carnby. Carnby and my friends." To others, simply as the Reptile. And he's never explains why he has the nickname the Reptile. Nothing about him is
fucking lizard
reptilian
king.
in the slightest. I exclusively refer to him as the Reptile. Incidentally, in the remake that just came out last year, he's played by David Harbour.
Oh my.
We call it a demigorgon.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Graham.
Mick, turn on your camera.
There's no way he's voting for Kid
Oh
Chameleon.
my god.
There's no fucking way.
All right. I just want to look you in the eyes and say I'm voting for Alone in the Dark.
Yeah, I
There
saw
we
that
go.
one coming a mile away.
I'm not.
Graham, you like
Yeah, we
it? I was gonna say, Graham, you like the original Resident Evil, right?
Yeah.
You'd like this game.
No,
Well,
okay.
hold on. I like the remake of the first.
Never
Resident
mind,
Evil.
you might not like. You might
No.
fucking hate this game.
Graham, this is beta PS1 Resident Evil.
Okay.
Alright, Taylor.
All right, Nick, here's the deal. I've been thinking long and hard about this.
Mhm.
And it's going to sound like I'm gaslighting you. But I swear this is what I believe.
Okay.
I don't actually think you like this game at all. I think that you are in a toxic relationship. And I want to help you.
Oof.
I think that you were so dedicated to loving this game that when it proceeded to hurt you, you needed to find a way to attach yourself to everything bad by turning it into something good, like Dark Souls 2, a game you love. But whereas Dark Souls 2 is still relatively playable at its core, Alone in the Dark is not.
It is playable.
I was there, man.
Have you
It's
watched?
considered one of the great. When it came out, it was considered one of the best games of the year.
I mean, it's definitely playable. Mick played it, so it's playable.
When it came out, the landlines were considered ahead of their time.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, we're not a. Okay, all right. Listen, you can't judge. Like, it's still playable. Like, people enjoyed it. People love this game. People have fond memories of this game, and I have fond
I don't
memories
know.
of this game now
I don't
too.
know, Mick. You try to beat this game so quickly. I don't know if you really enjoyed it.
See, Nick, this is stage one. See, this is the thing. You were in denial up till now. Now we're here. We can begin the healing process because I'm going to tell you don't like this, and that's going to lead to stage 2 anger. And then
I won't get angry.
You're going to start.
It's that
barking.
easy.
Okay.
I sense character development in the future of this bracket.
Get angry.
I watched him play it, and it was hilarious to watch him play it, but I do not think Alone in the Dark is a good game, and I respect the hell out of his ability to get to the top 5 in the leaderboards. I mean, as an additional point-and-click speedrunner, I respect the craft.
Yeah. Now, the problem here is Taylor.
Don't
the alternative?
Yeah,
the
Kid
alternative
Chameleon is
voting
not
for
a
Kid
good game
Chameleon.
either. So...
But you know what? Kid Chameleon beat Mario Land 2 6 golden coins, so I have to fucking vote for
That
it.
means it's the best game ever!
That means it must be better.
I love inequality.
Well, I'm voting for Alone in the Dark, which means Alone in the Dark beats Kid Chameleon. So,
We still have time.
I'm still happy. I have not moved on to the stage that you think I need to move on to. I'm content, Taylor.
Well,
I think it is you who are in a toxic relationship with Alone in the Dark. You won't
I
let
haven't
it.
played Alone in the Dark. I've only
Exactly.
watched
You won't.
you
You
play it.
won't. Taylor, you're getting very defensive right now, which I think is a sign that, you know, you need to just tone it down. Let it go.
He's using reverse psychology.
No, I'm not, Taylor. Taylor, listen. Maybe that. Listen, the lights in your room are just a little bit darker than you thought, Taylor. It's nothing to be It's nothing to worry about.
If I had a nickel for
how
every
is
time,
this our running gag?
every time like an intervention was staged at the Yearlies, and I got turned back on whoever was doing the interventionist, and also that person was Taylor, I'd have 2 nickels.
Which is so
Exactly.
odd.
It's weird that it's happened twice.
Oh God, end my life. Those 2 games go.
No, Jordan, do not commit Canadian
Who's up,
healthcare.
Christian?
Thank God I'm not voting for Indiana Jones, because I do not remember where y'all left off. Good luck, everyone. I'm voting for The Legend of Zelda.
Mick.
I'm voting for Indiana Jones: The Fate of Atlantis.
I guess
Okay.
the song will never play again.
Clanky.
Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Graham.
Do, 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 do.
Is he doing
can't-
Zelda
I
or
don't
Indiana
know.
Jones?
I don't.
I'm doing like the mystery theme from Indiana Jones.
Oh, okay.
I figured, yeah. And Taylor.
Da 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 da. No, that doesn't sound great. Hang on, let me try again. Da 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 da
That's
da da
Batman.
da 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 da
Oh,
da
now I
da
know what he's doing.
da
Okay.
da 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 da. Yeah, that's a good fairy fountain. It's a good fairy fountain, Taylor. Good job, Taylor.
That's from Kingdom of the
Oh.
Crystal
Yeah,
Skull.
when they
right?
had fairies and
All right.
That is the pizza theme from Spider-Man 2.
3D. Wolfenstein 3D versus X-Men Arcade. The voting order has shifted. It is now Mick's turn.
Come back to me.
Okay. Clanky.
Wolfenstein.
Graham.
X-Men Arcade.
Taylor.
Despite not being an X-Men fan, I could probably have good memories playing the game with people if I was given the opportunity.
All right. Christian.
It's actually Wolfenstein 3D.
It's not.
Shut the fuck up.
That's Wolfenstein.
Yeah, make a Young
pronounced
Frankenstein
Bible.
reference. Appeal to the Jordan.
Yeah, George, give me 2 votes
Yeah.
for the Young Frankenstein.
Well, not voting for my game.
No, wait.
Can we exchange our votes for tickets to movies?
2 tickets to Shazam.
Sure.
Me and Graham are seeing Shazam.
I don't think there's a timeline where that happens.
Yeah, I don't think
No,
they're
it's
bringing
not.
that movie back anytime soon.
Nick, it's all tied up for you. Should I turn my camera on?
No, so because here's the thing. I've got a lot of fond memories of X-Men Arcade, but the thing is, I remember enjoying playing it, but I can't remember the actual gameplay. So I think I'm gonna have to put.
To be fair, same.
It's way easier to remember the gameplay from Wolfenstein 3. Just think blue and hallway.
I mean, you also have to. I played Wolfenstein 3D way more than I played
and
X-Men Arcade.
Robot Hitler.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh no.
Contra 3, the Alien War versus the town with no name. Mick.
The town with no name.
Clanky.
Can you skip me?
Why?
Yes.
Clanky, you know it to be true.
I mean, why is Contra 3 the Alien War? Haven't they been fighting the aliens the entire time?
I think specifically.
Why
It's
does the,
all
law,
for-
why
the
does the
other ones are
Lodge of
skirmishes,
Friend
this
not
one's a
simply
war.
eat the others?
Taylor.
Contra, the Alien Wars.
Great
To
Jeff
shreds, you
Goldblum
say.
impression. Christian.
At the beginning of the town with no name, you get out of a train and step on a spider, crushing it and killing it instantly. And there's this NPC that you can talk to at the station who will do nothing but ask you about where his pet spider went. You can talk to him as many times as you want, and he will continue to ask, and you will give him roundabout
Guys,
answers.
the town with no name has cutscenes.
I know,
does.
right? I mean,
It's
maybe.
like a billion different ways to say that town with no name has cutscenes.
I don't actually. They might be cutscenes. I think it's dubious, actually.
There's
They're
there's so many
in-engine
there's a
cutscenes,
team
I'll give
of
them
them.
that.
Yeah.
They might be cutscenes. They also had a really nice net last year.
I'm gonna vote for the town with no name, even if it is the town that goes no farther than this.
Well,
Clanky,
he's
it's
just
all
put a
side up.
special charm on.
Yes.
So,
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Sure.
How is
Yeah.
the user experience for the town with no name?
Oh, it's awful.
You'll beat the game. You'll be able to see everything that the game has.
That's true.
What makes it awful? It's a point and click, is it not?
Kind of. It's like a visual novel.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
But here's the thing. It sucks in the way like an old Flash game sucks.
It's a visual novel intermittently spersed with the dual segments from Mad Dog McCree, and yes,
Exactly.
it feels like a Flash game.
like, Contra 3 is hard, but it controls smooth as butter.
That's the thing, right? Is that
But
like,
like
if this
really
game was
hard butter.
if this game was just like, whatever point and click but was really funny, I'd probably vote for it. But the fact that it seems agonizing to play kind of
Wait. It's not agonizing to play. We were trying to say it was very smooth and easy to play.
So that's the thing. It's
Oh,
not,
you were?
Well, here's the thing.
that makes
We're
sense.
being
Okay.
honest.
Yeah, so
Christian.
here's the
This
thing.
is
Being
the
totally
honest
honest,
Yearlies.
the thing is, being totally honest, it doesn't control like abysmally. Like it's not annoying to control. It's serviceable. I'd say.
I didn't even know it controlled. I thought you just clicked on things, to be honest.
That's
with you.
kind of what I mean. Is that like there's not many ways for it to be bad. Like it's just kind of like you click on things and you move around the
Yeah.
map. Like there's.
Contra 3 is fun.
The town with no name is fun to E.
Exactly. So, well, Clanky.
It's at least 2 more letters.
What do I value more, comedy or gameplay? This is tough. This is really tough, actually.
I'm trying to think if there's anything I can do to sway.
You'll probably die the same amount of times in both games.
This is true.
That
Actually,
true.
Graham
That
is a
is
very
true.
good point. And when you die in this game,
You
your
just start
character,
over, right?
you're
Yeah,
okay.
get to start over.
But
when
the game,
you die in this game,
when you die in this game, your character's like, "Oh, I was just about to finish this book," and he pulls out a tiny little book and turns to the last page, and then he falls over and dies.
But when you die, you have to start the game over, right?
well, yeah, but
But
the
you get-
game
you
is
get to
so
watch him crush
short,
his-
and it's so hard
Yeah.
to die.
And I don't think, can you make save states with a town with no name?
Yes.
I trust
You can
Mick.
also
He knows
make
more
save
about
states
these consoles than I
Contra
do.
all right. Okay, listen. I think I've made my decision. And before I announce what I voted for, I just want to say that it really just comes down to the fact that I don't really think I care about Contra too much. I'm
Listen.
voting for the town with no name.
If Kid Chameleon can beat Super Mario Land 2 6 golden coins, then the town with no name's beating Contra 3 the Alien Wars is just Tuesday.
Sonic
Man.
Tuesday.
Hey,
Tuesday.
Speaking of Kid Chameleon, Tuesday, Kid Chameleon versus Mortal Kombat, starting with Mick.
Mortal Kombat. Although I did look up
Alright.
Kid Chameleon, and there's this the one level I always see is apparently like you're fighting on top of a bunch of shrunken heads that are firing eyeballs at you.
Yeah. That's one of the first boss fights. Every single boss fight is against a bunch of flying shrunken heads.
Every boss fight?
I think I might change my vote knowing that fact.
Hang on, Christian. Every boss fight?
Yes, every boss fight is a pair or multiple shrunken heads, and they say die. One of them shoots boomerangs.
Changing your vote, Nick?
No, I can't.
All right. Mortal Kombat.
I was so
for you.
close.
You know what? No, come
Yeah.
back to me actually.
Oh, okay, Clanky.
I'm sorry.
All right, here's the thing. I want fucking Kid Chameleon off this bracket.
No, you don't. It's your favorite video game.
I'm
You
so
love this game. You have memories of playing in your childhood home
listen.
with your
I'm-
brother Richard.
I'm so
Dick.
upset with myself for voting for Kid Chameleon that I don't even want to look at it.
Dick Clanky.
I can't believe it.
You've played it 73 times.
I know, but I think
your
after
best friend,
like the
Kingo.
72nd, it really just got old. So yeah, I'm not voting for Kid Chameleon. I'm voting for Mortal Kombat.
How did this happen?
Okay. Graham.
I'm voting for Mortal Wombat.
Oh, the Australian version. Nice. Taylor.
Kid Chameleon is Clanky's favorite video game, so I'm going to give it the vote that he didn't.
That's crazy.
Question.
Well, I mean, look, Kid Chameleon. There is a place where Kid Chameleon should not have gone any further, and that was losers round 1. But
No?
here we are in the year of our Lord 2024 with Kid Chameleon here. I'm gonna vote for it, and Mick, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask, and I will tailor them
Nick.
to your exact liking as best as I can.
Okay. I need
It's down to you, buddy.
Christian. I need you to be 100% honest.
Yes.
Every level, regardless of the theming of the level, the final boss is shrunken heads.
So there are 4 bosses in the game. Every boss is shrunken heads.
Like it.
The
Like,
actually, yes, the last boss has the shrunken heads, but they are a conglomerate of shrunken heads merged into each other to make one.
So it's
very long
I swear to
head.
God, it's not just that they're decapitated; like they're specifically shrunken heads on it.
Oh, that's specific. No, they're actually bigger than you.
No. As in they're like desiccate. Like there's. I mean, like it's like they're like.
They're not.
Their heads on a stick. Like it's not like they're just floating heads.
One of them does actually have all the heads on a shish kebab, but none of the others.
You don't mean like a shrunken head, like in the sense where like you like literally shrink the head and like sew the eyes shut.
It resembles a shrunken head, but there are a lot of differences.
Do they all look though like? Do they all resemble shrunken heads?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. You'd have to look it up to reference. Look up Heady Metal, spelled like Dynamite Heady, and then metal after it.
Okay, I'm looking it up. Okay, yeah, they all look like this. Okay, yeah, you know what? That is such a weird as fuck choice. I gotta give it to this game.
I'm changing my vote to Mortal Kombat.
You motherfucker!
I knew that was gonna happen, but
I'm
that's
gonna
horrifying.
fucking kill you.
Oh, someone did fan art of what the game would look like if they did a HD remaster of it. Holy shit. I hate that.
Maybe they'll make the game better.
Called my bluff, Mick. I'm voting for Mortal Kombat.
I knew you were going to.
You have no honor. You have no honor in this court. Go home.
What are you voting
Holy-
for, Mick?
I'm voting for Kid Chameleon because I just saw Plethора's design.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's the merged one. That's the merged shrunken.
Yeah. It was the fact that every level, regardless of the theme, the boss is shrunken.
Yeah, I mean that
Shrunken
sounds
heads.
terrible. Why did this stupid fucking game beat Mario Land 2?
You played with my fucking heartstrings. You say I'm your enemy, Taylor?
Christian, can I be completely honest? It had nothing to do with you. Kid Chameleon is as separated from you as a game could possibly be.
I'm fucking watching you.
Kid Chameleon has become its own entity. It has become too powerful.
In the Swedish,
Well,
in the
thank God
Swedish
it's not
version of the
fucking
game,
rare.
I was
Heady Metal is
just
referred to
now-
as
I was playing the role of an undercover spy, and I was infiltrating to see how much information I could gather, and Mick sabotaged the operation.
You're dead to me. Move on to the next vote.
Christian, I need to point something out.
Oh yeah.
So he's called. So you say the boss is called Heady Metal, right?
Yes.
On the back of the box, he has a different name. He's referred to as Elsewhere Evil Meister.
Oh my god! I think that was
on the
some other media.
On the Sega trading card game, he's referred to as Master Mold.
Master Mold.
And in the Swedish version of the game, he's referred to as Farliga Fredrik, which translates to Dangerous Frederick.
You know what? I think I'm gonna call him Dangerous Frederick.
Who also put out a really good Culture Shock. So.
We have a lot of good Culture Shock fans here. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, it was a really, really packed lineup. Okay. Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis versus Dragon Quest IV. Mick.
Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis.
Yeah. Clanky.
Dragon Quest.
Graham.
Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis.
Taylor.
Guys, Dragon Quest is on an IV. It needs your help.
Beep. Beep. Beep.
Vote to kill it faster.
No, don't fill my IV with slimes, please. I'm voting for Dragon Quest IV.
Oh, and it survives just barely. All right. So, The Town with No Name versus Wolfenstein 3D.
The DOS games are still in it.
Dude, what are you talking about? Alone in the Dark's a DOS game as well. We're gonna be here.
Yeah, the DOS games.
Yeah.
Wait, there's three of them.
Yeah.
I forgot Wolfenstein was one of them. Okay.
Clanky, we start with you again.
Town with No Name and Wolfenstein, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you've come this far, right?
And Clanky, you can't vote for Kid Chameleon. I'm sorry, as much as it pains me.
Damn it! Oh. Okay. I'm gonna vote for. I'm gonna vote for The Town with No Name.
Yes.
Okay. Then would be Graham.
Yeah, I'm saying that I'm not sure what Mick's gonna vote for.
The Town with No Name.
Oh, fuck it. Let's go.
Okay. Sailor.
I've given this some thought, and I've decided that even though I would maybe want to vote for The Town with No Name, what keeps me from doing it is that I could experience the entirety of the game through watching a playthrough of it. The controller being in my hands does nothing. Probably stands to make the experience worse.
I wouldn't say that necessarily, because if you don't have the controller in your hands, you might not be able to investigate everything.
Well, that's what I have the internet for. The investigation playthrough.
All right, I'm gonna watch through every other point-and-click game you ever recommend to me on YouTube. Thank you for the recommendation, Taylor.
At least in Wolfenstein 3D, I get to pick the directions of how I go through the blue hallways.
Why are they blue?
Right. All right. Christian.
The Town with No Name.
Oof. And
This is wrong.
Mick.
Is it
This
China?
This feels dirty. No, it's over.
No,
Town
3-1.
won.
All right, I'm voting for Wolfenstein 3D. Well played.
Oh my god.
I am not angry about this.
Played. Dragon Quest IV versus Mortal Kombat. Starting again with Clanky.
This one's actually pretty tough.
He's still on an IV. He still needs the help.
Here's the. All right, when you do the beep, it really sells it. I'm not gonna lie. No, but here's the thing, right? Is that like there's a chance that Dragon Quest IV could be a game that I really like in the Dragon Quest series, but I know for a fact Mortal Kombat isn't even like my fifth favorite Mortal Kombat.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we're talking about like what's better as a part of its own franchise than like why would you go play Mortal Kombat 1, right?
Besides, like, I guess for like the novelty of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's value in playing Dragon Quest 4.
Yeah, all right, fine. I guess that convinced me enough to vote for Dragon Quest.
Okay. Graham.
You can also abuse the economy in the game.
You want to know
Oh,
why
you
I'm
do that
going
in
to
real
vote?
life.
You want to know why I'm going to vote for what I'm going to vote for?
Why?
so I can go Dragon Quest
He's
4.
done it. He's done it.
Commitment to the bit, baby. Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want Dragon Quest to die.
It's not going to now. Christian.
Unplugs life support. If there's one thing that I forgot to bring up about Mortal Kombat, it's that Mortal Kombat, starting even from this game, has done an amazing job with the fucking neighborhood rumors and secrets kind of field, where they'll just like they'll like the fucking game magazine rumors where it's like, oh, you can unlock Sonic and Tails if you do 1,000,000 matches in Super Smash Bros. Melee. Mortal Kombat unironically does this.
Okay, Christian, here's the thing. That is true of Dragon Quest, just not in America.
Well, you know what? Dragon Quest can have it too, I suppose. Whatever. It's the fourth one after all.
Dragon Quest is the epitome of like the childhood playground. Like you have no idea how fucking like huge Dragon Quest is. Like that's their fucking Mickey Mouse.
Well, they can enjoy that. I'm gonna go hang out with Reptile with Mortal Kombat.
Reptile's not in the Mortal Kombat one, is he?
I'm pretty sure Reptile
He's
is
in Alone in the Dark.
He's Reptile. I'm looking this up while we do votes.
Quick thinking. And Mick.
Mortal Kombat, it may or may not have Reptile in it. The Reptile from Alone in the Dark? Oh, my favorite character.
Reptile was in Mortal Kombat 1, meaning we do have 2 games on this bracket that feature Reptile.
If Reptile from Alone in the Dark is a playable character in Mortal Kombat 1, I will change my vote.
We could have that arranged.
The problem is one is Reptile, the other is the Reptile.
Yeah, there's a difference. Kirby's Dream Land versus Sonic the Hedgehog 2, starting with Clanky.
Dreamlands.
Graham.
Dream.
Was that a Shark Boy and Lava Girl
That was a
reference?
Shark Boy and Lava Girl reference.
Yeah, and?
He took my dream journal.
I did not. Mr. Electric.
Can I just say, how boring. You know, whenever anyone brings up Shark Boy and Lava Girl, that's the only line they can reference.
Mr. Electric, kill him!
Can I say, the one I usually go for is...
89 more minutes of movie, you know.
The one I usually go for is What's Up.
Mr. Electric, send his body back to the onion and have him consumed.
How about Lava Girl? You're not made of lava, you're made of light.
That's a shit line.
Not made
Why
of
would
girl.
anyone reference that?
Yeah, our line is so much better.
It's a shit movie, Mick.
No, it's not. It's beautiful.
Taylor.
I watched
The
it
round
in
at hand.
3D.
There's your problem.
I think we need to have Taylor sent to the principal's office and get expelled.
You know what? I'm going back to childhood disses. You're a doo-doo head.
Taylor, you're in our class, not the other way around. We know everything, and you know nothing.
Yeah? Well, is it my vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I'm voting for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, you buttheads.
Christian.
I guess I don't lose here. But I do think I like Sonic 2 more.
Which means it's tied up for Mick.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2. He go feast.
Oh, if Sonic 2 can get second place in this group of people, I'll be happy.
In this
All
economy?
right. Well, the thing is that it's going to have to go against one of these two. Alone in the Dark versus The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Gee, I wonder. Clanky still.
Yeah, here's the thing, is that for me, personally, Link to the Past clears everything on this bracket. I really do love this game. It's
I
really
respect
solid.
that.
It's a great
So I'm voting for Link to the Past.
I respect that. I won't hold it against you.
All right.
Graham.
A link to a past? Or the past? That's the question.
Whether 'tis nobler in the
Taylor.
mind.
I feel the same as Clanky, Mick. Are you going to hold it against me?
That remains to be seen.
I vote for Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Yeah. Christian.
I'll stick with you, Mick. Alone in the Dark.
And Mick.
Turns out I'm not alone in the dark.
But a game
Alone in
titled
the
Two
Dark.
People in the Dark wouldn't sell nearly as well.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, no, they
It's
call it
literally
Alone in the
called
Dark.
Alone. It's called
It's
Alone
the
in the Dark.
Together edition.
Yeah. Oh, the 2008
Alright.
reboot of Alone in the Dark. You have a constant companion character.
Was that Alone in the
Also-
Dark Illumination, the one with co-op, and you have to shine everything with light?
Yeah.
Alone in the Dark Illumination? Is that where the minions show up?
Oh my god.
Almost.
Banana.
Or
That was my minion impression, guys. What you
Kirby's
think?
Dreamland. Kirby's Dreamland versus Dragon Quest IV. The voting order is shifted. It is now Graham's turn.
I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, and I'm thinking,
But
I think I'm gonna have to vote for Dragon Quest 4.
It gets louder every
I
time.
love it.
Kind of want to see how far this goes.
Oh, man. Taylor.
Dragon Quest. If.
Why'd you say it like that?
Christian.
Because your mother buys you Mega Blocks instead of Legos.
Oof. That back.
Damn. That's
That was
rough.
cold.
Christian.
What if Kirby's Dreamland?
Mick.
Kirby's Dreamland.
And Clanky.
Out of these two games, I played and really enjoyed Dreamland, so I gotta give it to Dreamlands.
Yes. Let's go.
Amazing.
No! No! He's flatlining! Someone, please
Die.
save him! No! It was a bad Dragon Quest game anyways.
Hey, Taylor.
Oh, man.
Taylor, I know how I can cheer you up because here we have Alone in the Dark against the Town with No Name.
Yeah, two
again.
games that
Why
Taylor
would that
loves.
cheer
Let's
me up?
rehash this.
He adores these
In what
games.
world do you think that would make me happy?
Taylor, I think you like
I
these
don't
games
know.
almost as much as Clanky loves Kid Chameleon.
I said through gritted teeth. I love Kid Chameleon.
I don't think anyone could love Kid Chameleon as much as Clanky does. I don't think another human being could love a thing as much as Clanky loves Kid Chameleon.
It's so good. I love it. Oh my goodness.
That, but
Like, it,
unironically, me with
like-
Alone in the Dark.
Like, it goes Kid Chameleon and
happy.
Clanky, and then Romeo and Juliet.
Chameleon and Clanky. God.
Chameleon and Clanky.
That just feels
Oh
like his Cornel
God.
and Bernie spinoff.
I am
I'm
a
a dog.
chameleon. No. All right. It's
Talk.
Graham's turn.
Excuse me.
We technically did this one already.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and it was a 5-0.
Alone in the Dark.
Taylor.
I just want to ask, just to make sure, Christian, is there any chance you like The Town with No Name more than Mick likes Alone in the Dark now?
I think I like the Town with No Name less, actually, than when we last
Wow.
voted.
Okay. Well, I really want to hear the Hawaii 5-0 theme, so Alone in the Dark.
Okay.
It's gotta be Alone in
no,
the Dark.
Christian.
Oh.
All right, Christian.
Look, I'm
Either way.
just really, really happy that I found out that the Town with No Name was a 1992 game because that means we got to talk about it and got this far too. So that's crazy. Sometimes the
Yeah,
fun-
no. God forbid we put it in the honorable mention list.
Yeah, no, this game is too good for that. Put Mega Man 4 in there. That game sucks. But the
I don't want to put it in there.
the Town with No Name.
It's not even good
Mega-
enough for that.
Christian, it's worse than sucking. It's so mid.
Mega mid.
Dude, Mega Man 4 and The Simpsons Bartman meets Radioactive Man would have been best buds.
But yeah, no, I think part of the fun of the Yearlies is just finding games that you would never expect anyone to submit and then submitting those. Either way, Alone in the Dark is definitely better, and I'm voting for it.
Oh, okay.
Let's sneeze.
And Clanky.
I will vote for Alone in the Dark.
It would not be uncharacteristic of Hawaii 5-0 to play during the Town with No Name.
The Town with No Name is the first game to get 5-0'd, get really far in the loser's bracket, and then get 5-0'd again.
By the same
Same
game.
game.
Alone in the Dark came down to finish the job.
Almost like
fucking-
Lemmings did last time. I was
That fucking invincible meme. I thought you were stronger.
This right here is our final four.
It's a good
One
one.
of
This
these
is a good one.
things is not like the others.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
One of these things
you
does
say that.
not belong.
You see. Okay, here's the thing. I need to step in and actually defend it Alone in the Dark.
Which of these things?
I need to actually defend Alone in the Dark because I have to stress it really was a revolutionary game.
Look, I believe you.
It was revolutionary.
Yeah.
It was the
but here's the difference. It was a revolutionary game. The rest of these games are still good.
Thank you.
I insist that it is still good, though I admit that I can't explain why.
You
it's
can't
still
tell
good.
me why. I asked you while we played it. So Mick, so what is it that you like about this game? It's like, well, you see, Taylor, I don't know. Okay. You were like,
So
well,
we
you see, in
have
this first
Kirby's
puzzle, you put the box to stop them from getting in the cellar. So,
It's not even really a puzzle. It was just a. I think that even might be a glitch. I'm not sure what that is.
then you tried to do it and you immediately got killed.
Kirby's
I was there when you
Dreamland versus
soft
Alone in
locked
the
the game.
Dark. Starting still with Graham.
Alone in the Dark.
Okay. Taylor.
Me?
You got what I need. You say he's just a friend. You say I don't know where I was going with that. That's where we ended up. And
It's been a long
you just
night,
have to be okay with that. Oh baby, you got what I need. Oh Kirby's Dreamland. Oh Kirby's Dreamland.
Just what Bismarcky had in mind. Christian.
I do hope that this is the most understandable comeback to me to ever happen. But come back to me.
Christian.
Mick.
Alone in the Dark.
Well. Oh wait, no. Oh, wait, hang on. I'm
Clanky.
confused. Oh,
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, Clanky. Yeah.
Well, I'm all right. So I'm voting for Dreamland, but the reason I am is because every time I voted for Alone in the Dark, it's gone against a game that I've never played before. So this is a game that I know I at least like, and
Every
I'll
time
be
it's
real.
gone up against
I've
something, the
never
town with
played
no
Alone in the
name.
Dark. What?
Every time it's gone up against the town with no name. No, it's gone up against other stuff.
Town with no votes.
Yeah. So Christian, have fun determining what gets killed.
It's okay, I figured it out.
Well.
He's gonna say, can I guess what you're gonna say, Christian?
I'll make sure it's the one you don't
No.
want.
But can I guess your reasoning?
Sure.
You're gonna go, there are better Kirby games. There's only one Alone in the Dark.
I was actually going to say that I've never played the original Kirby Dreamland.
Oh.
I'm voting for Alone in the Dark.
That's a fucking bombshell to drop this late in the bracket, but
You
okay,
never
cool.
played Alone in the Dark either.
But Alone in the... Okay, well, Alone in the Dark, just generally comparing Kirby's Dreamland, which is probably the most boring Kirby game out of the entire lexicon of
That
amazing,
is
wonderful
just not
games.
true.
I wouldn't agree with that.
I actually can't think of a single one that I think is more boring, actually.
You have said on a regular basis how much you don't like Dreamland 3, and then those
But Dreamland 3 is so much more interesting. We'll get...
I
might
gotta
get
say-
to that.
Kirby's Pinball, Christian.
I can
Turns
talk
out
about
I w-
any Kirby game for way longer than the first Dreamland.
Turns out I was very prophetic when I predicted at the beginning. Oh, this is going to be a Christian Kirby hot take, isn't it?
Are you kidding? Mick, did you ever see a world where Mick or Christian wasn't going to be inspired by your pitch and vote for Alone in the Dark? Because this is the only outcome.
I'm voting
Okay.
for Alone in the Dark because it
Yeah,
is way
this is
more
what happens.
interesting
This is-
than the first
Christian-
Kirby's
Christian-
Dreamland game.
Christian doesn't understand why he's the major villain of this franchise. And
Shut the
it's
hell up,
because-
Kid Chameleon, motherfucker! I will slay you! You piece of fuck!
You know what, Christian? You know what? You're
Slay you.
uninvited for my birthday party.
I'm uninviting you from your birthday party.
Yeah, so I think what we've gathered here is that in terms of the kind of villains we are, I'm the scheming mastermind. Graham is like the wild card brute, and Christian is the one who starts out as an ally, and then at the last minute caves and becomes a villain.
I'm not a villain! I was
Christian,
betrayed!
Christian,
I was
Christian,
betrayed!
Christian.
I'm the victim!
Christian,
was
in
fine.
this analogy,
was
you and I
my
are on the same
moment.
side.
He's so fucking toxic.
It was my moment!
Do you hear how toxic it is? He's twisting my words against me. He is convincing us that we're the problem.
It really
Reminder,
is.
guys, this is the honest Yearlies.
It really is all a matter of
Yes.
perspective, ain't it? I am voting
hate
for Alone in
all
the
of
Dark,
you.
by the way.
Oh my god.
And if avenging Sonic the Hedgehog and Kid Chameleon makes me the villain, then it's never been better to be bad.
I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me, and you can go fuck yourself.
Listen to how evil this guy is.
Okay. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 versus The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. We start still with Graham.
You all know what I'm voting for. I'm voting for Legend of Zelda.
He has a legacy to uphold.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was almost why I was going to vote for Dreamlight, actually.
Taylor.
I personally think that these are the top two right here, but I think Zelda is way better.
Ooh, yeah. And Christian?
Zelda 1, more likely than not. But I will stick with Sonic 2 to the grave. I'm just happy it got this far, let's be real.
Yeah. Mick.
Sonic 2.
And Clanky.
Link to the Past.
3 to 2. Another Sonic. Zelda game.
What are you complaining about?
Are you doing the
5
next
of them in the
fight
winner's
for us?
bracket?
There is not... Oh, wait, I guess this is the second Zelda game in the winner's bracket. But, like, I mean, compared to Mario...
There's gonna be like 5 more in the end of it.
What's so bad about that? Zelda is an amazing franchise.
Yeah, but I think we just want variety.
You
Yeah, we do. We're fine. There's
Wait,
a
what's that
Sonic game
MS
in the
DOS?
final.
What'd you say?
I said, what was that MS DOS?
What does that mean?
It's not.
What does that
I don't know
mean?
what
MS
It
DOS
means round 29.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 versus Alone in the Dark. We start now with Taylor.
I'm gonna be alone in my vote for Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
I wouldn't be so sure. Christian.
Admittedly, I was kind of hoping Sonic 2 would get second place, but I'm going to vote for it, and we're just going to see what happens, right? Graham, Clanky, you guys will vote for a Sonic game, right?
You're so funny.
Nick?
You're so funny.
I know I'm hilarious.
My
Nick.
turn. Alone in the Dark.
This sucks.
I don't know
Clanky.
where this is going. I don't know how this is going.
I'm voting for Alone in the Dark.
Which means
Tied up
it's.
for Graham.
Oh no!
I'm voting for Alone in the Dark.
Oh my god. Which means our final 2 is A Link to the Past and Alone in the Dark, something we've already seen.
Anyone want to switch their vote and let something really funny happen?
It would be so
you took
funny.
the words right out of my mouth.
It might actually be the funniest thing a person could ever do.
You all want to be
Well.
funny, right?
We have
Let's
said
start.
on recording for the last 3 hours that Alone in the Dark is not a good video game. That we let you love it, but that it's not fun and that you don't know why you like it.
No. I would not say that it's not fun. Like, that's not something I would say. I would not say that it's not fun. I would say that it's hard to
It's not
describe why
good.
it's fun. But it is fun.
Also, Christian, I hope you realize that this entire time you've been voting for a point-and-click game.
I don't care. Alone in the Dark looks so silly.
It's not really a point-and-click game. Like, you can't use the mouse in the game.
It's more of like a fixed camera survival horror sort of thing.
Yeah,
It's like if the Telltale game had like fixed cameras, I presume.
Right.
It's more like again the thing you gotta keep, the thing that's the thing that you can compare to the most is like the early Resident Evil games. You're in a place where there's a bunch of puzzles. There's a fixed camera, and you can pick up things and move them to places. The only difference is that this one is you can save anywhere.
So Taylor, it is your turn.
The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past is one of the greatest games on the Super Nintendo, one of the greatest Zelda games, and I think is easily the best thing on this bracket.
Okay. Christian.
Yeah, with this final round, it's like we have the game that is like obviously probably going to win, and then we have almost like the people's champion here with Alone in the Dark, the game that is clearly
Yeah.
the most endearing out of all of these. And
Yeah.
I will say, if this was a different Zelda game, I might have been more inclined to vote for it. But with this one, honestly, I'm gonna stick with Alone in the Dark.
Mick.
I've got to say Alone in the Dark, and I'm
Look, it's already got its slot in one of the final brackets. So
Mick, you've made us
That's
care
something.
so much about this game. Your
Alone
passion.
in the Dark. Don't use the word us. I would
and
say.
this thing. I wasn't expecting to care about the game when I first bought it on when I first bought it for like literally $2. I was like, this is maybe a fun thing to throw in at the end. And then something happened.
Your passion carried the game to second place.
Alone in the
Well.
Dark and Mad Dog McCree.
Let's dance, amigo.
You talk about them like they're bad games.
I'm talking about them like they're dated games.
It's Clanky's.
It is the
turn.
1992 Yearlies.
Yeah, here's the thing: is that Link to the Past is a top 5 Zelda game for me, and I really love Zelda, so I'm voting for it.
Graham, what you doing, bud?
All the eternity cameras.
No, this is what we're doing. Are we? All right. Okay.
Alright.
Graham's voting for Kid Chameleon. I can sense it.
Hold on. I'm sick, so I'm not gonna turn on my camera.
That's fair. Christian is the only one that makes use.
He has
I'm-
so much power. He's so reveling in this. I respect it.
I voted for a Link
What
to the
you
Past.
doing?
Yeah, that was a waste of time.
Thanks,
Oh, yeah,
Graham.
no. What else is on? Okay.
Nah, Graham got exactly what he wanted out of it.
Change the channel.
I'm just thinking of more childish insults. And by
Why?
Your
thinking,
mother was a
I'm-
hamster and your
Why?
father
Your
melted all
game
the ice.
won!
Be happy.
well, because I still want to do childish insults.
Okay, fair.
I'm going to kill you.
You want me to be happy?
All
That's
right.
an impossible ask. Happiness is a fleeting emotion. If we are happy all
yeah?
the time, then we are never happy.
Taylor, you won't be happy. You won't. Chicken.
All right.
I know you are, but what am I?
Okay, with that, I think we should segue out.
I'm
of this.
doing it this time.
Does anybody? All right, Christian,
Okay.
you can do it.
Because my game, for the second Yearlies in a row, got its ass eaten. So I'm doing the
Hey,
fucking...
yo.
Not by Clanky. Clanky,
Hey now.
honestly, I just feel bad for Clanky. It's not. In fact, Christian,
I am the victim. I am the victim.
don't be mean to our viewers.
Oh, I
I'm
will-
not gonna
I will
lie.
absolutely be mean to them.
Sometimes it feels great to be the victim in a year.
I know, right? Like everyone...
It's fun.
But no,
yeah.
the thing is, I'm the victim, and people are still calling me the villain.
I'll never know what it's like to be the victim.
Graham's got a
Clanky,
higher.
do you remember when I said that the '90s is going to be full of Clanky victories?
Also,
yeah,
Taylor
this is
picked-
going.
Actually,
This is
more,
going great for me. I'm not gonna lie.
more Taylor
I-
victories than Clanky ones. Actually, I'm doing the outro. Hey everyone,
Okay.
fuck all of you. Should have
That's
gone to
fair.
Kid Chameleon. Clanky
Wait,
agrees
wait,
with me.
Don't say fuck you to the audience.
I
They
hate
didn't do
all of you.
anything.
The audience is terrible. Unsubscribe. Unlike the video.
No. You're
So
lovely. All of you are
Don't
lovely.
don't watch
Go
the
fuck
video in the
yourselves.
corner. And be sure to
Please
tell
do.
everyone to never watch the Yearlies.
Please watch the Yearlies.
Jordan, cut it right there.